for a brighter future. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman. It's an honor to serve you. I approve this message and sincerely ask for your vote.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
Deer hunting in the comfort of an enclosed 6x6 Lazy Man fiberglass box blind. It's affordable at Jelco Outdoors. Lazy Man Fat Girl Blinds, built here in Fort Smith with your choice of 6-foot or 10-foot tower blind platforms, starting at $22.99.99. Box blinds are great for taking the kids, with plenty of room and out of the weather. Check out the deer blinds at Jelco Outdoors. Hunt longer in the comfort of a Lazy Man box blind, sold locally at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
This is Northside head football coach Felix Curry. I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Hi, this is Ricky Smith, head basketball coach for the Northside Lady Bears. I dial 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Football and fall, what a great time of the year. It's also a great time to take advantage of York factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products. Give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbor since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. It'll be a breezy day. A high this afternoon, low 80s with south winds anywhere from 20 to 30 miles per hour. Mainly clear. We drop down in the low to mid 60s overnight. Sunny sky Wednesday. A chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm or high on Wednesday. And the upper 70s to low 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. You're listening to The Morning Rush on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
Don't touch my beef jerky now.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Don't ask me if I'm all right. What kids they dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Well, take it to the
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Name of one Razorback is vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Turn it.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Good morning. I would usually tell you it's a beautiful Tuesday to be talking sports on halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com, but it really isn't. Overcast, cloudy, potentially chilly too. Get some storms in the forecast over the next 24 hours or so. So not the prettiest day, but happy to be with you anyway. Welcome in. Halftime is live on ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com and Hit That Line Now app. I'm Phil Elson with my partner Matt Jones, Kristen Johnston in the producer's chair, Colton Little later on. A couple of guests on this Tuesday, Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio, 1:15, Pig Trail Nation's Alyssa Orange in about an hour and 15 minutes. And, Matt, how do you think Alyssa's feeling today? For one, she should be pretty fired up because she's in New Orleans. For two, her Dodgers are up 3-0. So do you put the champagne on ice today, or do you wait until the game's over and just put it in the freezer instead?
Happy Tuesday, and I like a little touch of gray in the cloud. I think it kind of looks nice today. Yeah, if you're a Dodgers fan, and I've been watching these games, they're the better team, not even close. Mookie Betts is batting second. He's a leadoff on every team in the country. He's also the best right fielder in the game. I mean, you start going down the list, it's like the Dodgers, so I guess it really was their pitching if that's what everybody was worried about. But the Yankees bats, they must be swinging Swiss cheese bats because they're just going right through it. I haven't seen them getting any type of rhythm, making any type of constant contact. It's Soto might get a walk here and there, and Giancarlo and Aaron Judge. I mean, Giancarlo is okay, but he runs like a donkey. I mean, he can't even move. Why would your third?
You watched that play at the plate last night. You're thinking he looks like he's moving in slow motion.
Well, the third base coach should be fired. Like there was no reason to send him right there. But anyways, yeah, the Dodgers. Walker Buehler. I mean, just absolute put on a show. He was fun watching him, and then I guess it would be Freeze, right? I mean, the first baseman's going to be the MVP. I mean, that's just and they did a graphic where they showed all 6 of his home runs in the World Series, and they're all like the ball's all on that inner half of his plate because he's a lefty, but it's on the inner side of his plate, all of them. It's like, why would you pitch him there?
Yeah, you would think you'd keep the ball out.
Do they not know that
spot.
too?
That's exactly right. Freeman is having himself some kind of a tear, huh? 5 consecutive games hitting a home run in the World Series, going back to the last World Series he played with Atlanta. Yeah, it's like you can put – it feels right now you could put the trophy on ice, not just for the World Series, but even for World Series MVP. And, for Yankee fans, they just have to be wondering what the heck is going on here with this team. Because you're right, it isn't just Aaron Judge. Like, Soto and Stanton are doing most of the things that they need to do. They're setting the table. They're getting on base. Nobody's driving them in. You got Judge, Torres, Volpe, and Chisholm that have combined for 7 hits in these first 3 games, and I think they're all singles. Well, and it's just they look the body language is bad. They look like their timing is completely off. They don't run the bases well. They're not playing well in the field. And the Dodgers starting pitching, I mean, they could win the World Series today, Matt, on a sweep with a bullpen game. Their starting pitching these first 3 games has been outstanding, and I just didn't think they had the kind of pitching to get through these Yankee bats the way they have.
Well, the Dodgers have outplayed them in every aspect, but really in the field, what I've noticed that the Dodgers have done is they've kept everything in front of them and limited any type of extra bases. Where the Yankees, there was a ball last night that was cut into right field, and Mookie Betts takes a bad step, but then comes back and catches it. 2 games ago, I guess that's Giancarlo Stanton out there. There's a ball hit out there, and it's like it was easier than that one, and he couldn't get to it. That big boy couldn't. You're just like, oh my! I mean, such a liability out there if you're not going to hit. So then you're losing on both ends. You're having to get 4 outs in an inning, and then you're not really doing much at the plate. But yeah, it's just been a total. I mean, I guess when the Bo Sox swept the Cardinals 4-0. Back in like 2005, this is kind of what
you're right.
They never had a chance, and this is kind of what this looks like. That the Yankees just they don't have a chance.
That is one of those. I remember going into that series with the with Boston and St. Louis, thinking, man, this is an historic matchup. It's a couple of the franchises that have faced off in 2 sort of iconic World Series. They were playing great baseball up to that time, but it was a terrible. It was awful. I mean, the Cardinals were just completely outclassed by Boston in that series. That's what's going on in this one, too. I thought it would be a great series. Iconic franchises. The Hall of Famers on both sides. But it just isn't there. I mean, to borrow terminology that you would use here, I think the Yankees have done their best Amber Heard imitation. It's just not very pretty to see. And for a franchise that has been in, heck, they've won 27 World Series. I think they've been in over 40. They've been swept 3 times. And even with the Dodgers throwing a bullpen game today, I just don't have any faith in New York to extend the series at all. So we'll, I guess we'll find out. So yeah, from what I'm hearing from you, I think you would put the champagne on ice today, right?
Well, I never count the chickens. Never, never, ever. That's just a totally no. Don't even think about that. They're on scholarship too, so to speak. So just nope. Let's wait till we get to 4.
They're on multi-million-dollar contracts too.
You know who I do like is that third baseman, Chisholm Jr.
Yes.
I think he missed one too. He missed one, and then the very next inning, the third baseman maybe it's 2 innings later, but the third baseman from the Dodgers makes a heck of a play, gets him out, and it's just the little things. The Yankees kept on giving them a little bit more, and the Dodgers kept taking everything away. But there are a couple players I do like. This is almost the moment seems a little bit too big for him right now. He's thinking because you can see he's nervous. He booted that ball in the infield, and he's not really. But I do think going forward, that's a nice piece.
Well, it's also it's kind of a tough day for New York sports yesterday, wasn't it? Steelers 26, Giants 18, and that's I guess you don't really have a halfway point of the regular season any longer because you're on a 17-game schedule. But this is about the halfway point of the season. Who looks like the biggest surprise right now in the NFL? Do we have a biggest surprise just yet? Because would you go with the Washington Commanders? The new coaching staff bringing in Jaden Daniels, and with the 6-2 record, I'd probably put them ahead of anybody else as the biggest surprise right now. And hey, maybe some people think the Steelers would be a bit of a surprise, but I do think they could still fall back to earth once you start playing in division, and they haven't played in division yet. Anyone stand out to you?
Well, that NFC South, I'm with you with the Commanders, absolutely, in that division, and there is a little bit more left. But their point differentials plus 69, they're 6-2. And then I look in the NFC South, Atlanta's 5-3, their point differentials -1. So I think they're going to come back down to earth. If Washington's they're playing with confidence, they're playing fun. Somebody will figure out the rookie quarterback. I mean, that's for sure. Maybe the biggest surprise, honestly, is that Kansas City's 7-0. And it might sound a little bit. Just you think of their last 4 or 5 years of all the games they've played and all the hits they've taken, and just it's a collision sport, and it's kind of a they always say that football doesn't bounce like a basketball or a baseball. It's always like a little fun. You got to get a little lucky, and the fact they're 7-0. Maybe the Broncos are 5-3. I wouldn't have thought they'd be doing that good. And then another one would be that Cincinnati's 3-5. I really thought Cincinnati had a chance to win that division.
Yeah, I tell you what, I was going to ask you who would the MVP at the midway point of the season be. The biggest surprise has to be that Kansas City is undefeated, and yet Patrick Mahomes wouldn't even be right now on considered with more interceptions than touchdowns. He wouldn't be considered for MVP.
I'd probably vote for Goff.
That's who I'd be voting for. You're right.
Goff or Allen. Those would be the two right now as far as the quarterbacks that I would vote for.
Chiefs are like an NBA franchise, right? Just kind of wait out the regular season. You'll get where you need to get, and then just kind of turn it on when they need to turn it on. Kind of happened last year, but they still have that defense, and that's to me that's the dividing line. If you're 7-0 and your star quarterback, who's a first ballot Hall of Famer on the short list of greatest quarterbacks of all time, is having a really rough first 7 games, and yet they're still 7-0. Yes. This defense can come to play, and it was good to see Pittsburgh beat the Giants yesterday. Not a great Giants. I just saw some things from Daniel Jones a couple of times that looked good, but I saw more better things from Russell Wilson, from Najee Harris, and George Pickens. Your boy had a couple of touchdowns taken away. One because of the right tackle had a face mask penalty, and then his catches are kind of crazy sometimes. There's this catch in the back of the end zone where he's fighting 2 defensive backs for the ball. He touched his right foot twice, didn't get the left foot down because of the way they knocked him out. And, it was 2 great catches, didn't get credit for either of them, and it ends up Calvin Austin with the punt return touchdown and the last touchdown of the game, too.
How is that not a touchdown?
Yeah, right.
What's going on?
It was. I guess you have to get and I'd never thought about this before. The right foot touched twice. The left foot did not touch.
If I catch the ball and you lift me up off my foot and then it comes back down and I hit that foot again and already had control, then that's completing the catch. That doesn't make.
Initially, the refs called it a touchdown, and then, you've got this automatic review process back in New York in which I guess it took like a minute or so. Like, no, that's not a touchdown.
One elbow, one hip equals 2 feet.
Yeah.
But if you hit the same foot twice, then it doesn't count.
Then
Yeah,
it
that's
doesn't count as
interesting.
both feet, right? I learned something watching NFL Monday Night Football last night. That's exactly right. I don't know if anybody will learn anything throughout the show today, but I did learn that one. Calls and texts coming in today at 877-377-6963. We'll have some sound from Sam Pittman and touch on this Arkansas Ole Miss game in just a moment, so stay with us.
This is Halftime.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible
It's a good
Range
thing
Rover
I did that
selection.
wasn't.
Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
When a new Meyer's involved, you know you're going to get great food and have an awesome time. Hey, Ty Richardson for New Meyer's Rib Room and Beer Garden. They've been whipping up the best ribs, tamales, and smoked wings for years. Rib Room has live bands for you through the month of October and game day specials. For to-go orders, call 479-494-7427. New Meyer's Rib Room and Beer Garden, located at 424 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith.
With everyday low prices on top brands, locally owned Yeager's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Don't miss our Ace Rewards member thank you sale, offering 20% off and 2 times points November 1st through 3rd. Grab your coupon in any store for details and exclusions. And don't miss the opening of our new store in Barling this Monday, November 4th. Yeager's, serving the River Valley for
On ESPN Arkansas, download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Basketball fans, it's that time of year again. The NBA is back. From opening tip-off to buzzer beaters, BetOnline has you covered with the best odds, biggest promotions, and live in-game betting on all of your favorite teams. This season, every game matters. BetOnline has every stat, matchup, breakdown, and live odds to bet on during the games. And it's not just the NBA. BetOnline has odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, to even political props. Head to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and HitThatLine.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Colin Ray Drive into Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio.
You're everlasting summer, you can see it, baby. So you grab a piece of something that you think is gonna last. But you wouldn't even know the time that you held it in your hand. The things you think are precious, I can't understand.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I was looking in The Athletic this morning, Matt, and there's a story about the games in the SEC, meaning SEC conference games, league versus league, where this year, comparatively to 2023, the average margin of victory is down by 3 points, which seems small, but really isn't when it comes right down to it. 13.6 is the average margin of victory in the 37 SEC games that have been played. 16 of those 37 games have been decided by one score. There were only 17 games in the SEC last year that were decided by one score. You're just one off from that number, and there's still a full month of league games to go. You know, and Arkansas, I think Arkansas played so many close games last year. We're kind of seeing the same thing here, except the last two. But I did find that interesting. We can point to the transfer portal probably being the top of the list, and I kind of wondering some of the other reasons too. I wondered what you thought.
Yeah, it's easier to evaluate talents when they're 20 years old, 21 years old. You've seen them play college football for a couple years. Guys like Andrew Armstrong, where he went to a different school, and a lot of kids, they go to a smaller school. You can't just transfer without sitting out a year. So you miss on some of these kids, or they're late bloomers, or because everybody doesn't mature at the same time. But yeah, that definitely has something to do with it, because you're able to go pick and pop older kids, and then also it seems like you don't get as much time with each other, so it seems like maybe the offense isn't as good. I wonder if the total points are up, but because you don't have that continuity, not that you can't score, not that you can't go, but it does kind of make everybody. It seems like everybody's a little more equal this year.
It does feel like that. It really does. I mean, just look at how Ole Miss has rebuilt their defense. You get guys coming in from SEC schools too, and I read where Pooh Paul is the highest rated linebacker in the country according to PFF. That's exactly what you're talking about right there, man. I don't know what age Pooh was when he left Arkansas, but it was after 2 years, so that's about 19, 20 years old. That's exactly right. You know what you're getting from that point on.
Well, and when he left, I think the first thing I said was, it doesn't matter where this kid goes to play college football. He's gonna play on Sundays. He's obviously going for the money, for the chance to pretend like you're, Ole Miss is the ultimate fugazi, the chance to pretend like you're going to win a title. You're like, man, I wish you would have stayed here at Arkansas, because you're going to go play on Sundays. But you can't fault the kid. He gave Arkansas 2 great years, and he's a supreme talent. He's one of the best linebackers in the country.
So, I mean, does the margin of victory matter as much as it used to? Because style points used to be such a big thing. You had to have the style points if you were going to. Heck, I mean, remember even when it was BCS, I mean, margin of victory was a thing that the computer looked at. And when it came to the poll voters, and you were just basically going off of the AP or the coaches poll or the various other organizations that awarded national championships, style points was a major aspect of that. Now it feels a lot more just like, I guess to borrow the Al Davis line, just win, baby. It's like I heard Lane Kiffin listen to his press conference, and he's talking about how well his defense played in their victory over Oklahoma. And they beat OU by 2 scores, 26-14. But he was pointing out, it's like, what is there to be negative about this? You realize how difficult it is to win in the SEC. I mean, just why are we killing joy about that? Let's be happy with a win it's difficult enough just to take another one of your lines. I mean, all those guys have scholarships too. I feel the same way about Mississippi State. It's like we're pointing to the missed tackles and bad angles and everything, and worrying that that's going to be something you see this next week against a better opponent and a fast offense in Ole Miss. But it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what's going to happen, because as far as I'm concerned, that's the first thing Travis Williams is working on for this game, right? Those things don't always carry over, because we've seen they've been a good tackling team. They've taken good angles mostly throughout this year.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the thing, though, that Lane to do is it's a numbers game on the outside. So you're reading the box, you're seeing what the numbers are. So we got 3 receivers, and I'm throwing it to a back. There's only 4 guys over here, so if we can get a body on a body on a body, one guy takes an 8, you split the crease. So that's the kind of the play, the option, and the idea behind the play they're running, and a lot of times you can go both ways with that. Lane Kiffin's going to do the same thing. You know, it's a numbers game out there. We see how many we got to the right, so you got to take pursuit angles when it's coming over. Then be ready for them to come out there and pump fake that pass. You come down like you think, and then they hit you over the top. So yeah. It's a little bit of trickery, but anything you see that a team has success on the prior week, better believe Lane Kiffin will see if you remedied that mistake, if you can tackle in space like that. And I would say Ole Miss has better receivers than Mississippi State's.
Oh yeah, I would say that too. And it's coming from every angle. They'll throw it to the running backs. They got tight ends that can catch in space. They got, I mean, not just one of the better receivers in the country in Trey Harris, but 2 or 3 of these receivers are having, All-American kind of years. But it's still like this is where it's more difficult to understand what Ole Miss is this year. And Lane Kiffin as a head coach, for as much as we talk about their offense and the fast pace and Trey Harris and Jackson Dart and Henry Parrish and all that, this is a team that wins games defensively. They are shutting teams down. I mean, I appreciate the idea that Oklahoma is not a great offense. Carolina's had some moments. Kentucky's not a great offense, but I think defensively, this is sort of, is that their identity right now, Matt? I mean, it's when you have the lowest scoring defense in the country, and it's not just in out of conference. They also have the best scoring defense when it comes to SEC games. That's their identity. This is not. It's crazy to think about this, too. Lane Kiffin has a team that is good on offense, but better defensively, and that's the way that they're winning games right now.
Man, they're scary. That they can be scary, that's for sure, when you got Lane calling the plays. I think it's a couple teams that are identical in the fact that I think our defense is kind of what we hang our hat on at Arkansas as well, and I think that's what Ole Miss is doing. Now you got to be physical on the line of scrimmage on offense, and you want to do the same thing on defense, both lines of scrimmage, and that's what Ole Miss is doing right now. Their front 7. I put them up there with, Georgia's front 7, Texas. You start looking at the teams with their best front. I think Ole Miss, Tennessee's front 7, A&M's front 7. I think they're, any one of those 4 or 5. I think those are kind of the best front 7s, and I think Arkansas is up there. I think we're kind of right there on the cusp of being in that group. I don't know if we have the same depth that some of these teams have, but I think, man, Sori's just as good as any linebacker in the country.
It would be fun watching Sori run around with Pooh Paul on the same field, and also think, like, I guess sometimes they've been together on the same team. I don't know, like if they were able to convince Pooh Paul to stay, I don't know if you get Xavier and Sori. But then again, I mean, just for a moment, what would that have been like with the both of them on the field at the same time wearing Razorback red? Well,
if you could get both of them, that's kind of like
it's a lot of money, right?
What did Jerry Jones say that running back from Baltimore wouldn't help his team? It's like no, I want both those players on my team. We'll find a spot for both these players, and I bet we'll be okay because those guys go side to side, and Sori might be a little stronger than Pooh Paul. Pooh Paul's instincts are what helps him. I mean, he sees the play and goes and gets it. And then Sori's been a joy to watch. He might be him and Jackson. Those two might be my 2 favorite players this year to watch on defense for the Hogs.
I think they use Paul to rush the quarterback a little bit more than
They
he
would
did at
send him on a
Arkansas.
blitz, wouldn't they? It seems like they would send you. Are you saying at Ole Miss, or are you saying last year at Arkansas?
At Arkansas, at Ole Miss, he's rushing the quarterback a lot. He's got 7 quarterback hurries, a little more than 2 sacks. So they're sending him back there, and they have counted up. I think it's 6 players with at least 2.5 sacks this year.
So you don't know where it's coming from. Yeah,
Exactly right. You talk about like a front 7. It literally is. You never know out of the 7 where it's going to be coming from. 877-377-6963 to get with us. You do know where it's coming from if you get over to Joe's Grill and Cantina for football Saturdays, half-price apps and half-price taps during the game. All day long on Saturdays, there's endless enchiladas and $15 pitchers of beer, margaritas, and sangrias, and $2 Busch Light drafts all throughout the day. That's Saturdays. Place to watch football on game day. Joe's Grill and Cantina is at 74th Street in Fort Smith, right across from Harps, and online at joesfortsmith.com. More on Arkansas football in just a moment. It's halftime.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free. With zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adventure Dave will be attempting his greatest stunt yet. He will jump over 100 boats, ATVs, cars, and trucks, all at Adventure Oklahoma in Roland, brought to you by Auto Finders. Here he comes now. Adventure Dave, why did you choose Adventure Oklahoma for this stunt?
Well, Tom, Adventure Oklahoma is your one-stop shop for adventure. Plus, no one else would let me jump over their boats and ATVs.
Adventure Oklahoma by Auto Finders has it all. Brand new, used, that's right. CF Moto, Arctic Cat, and Segway side-by-sides and ATVs, all with a free 5-year warranty. Only offered by Adventure Oklahoma. Plus, G3 boats, Suncatcher pontoons, and Falcon bass boats with delivery up to 100 miles away. The lowest priced pre-owned vehicles in the area with 90 days to your first payment.
That's right. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a date with Destiny.
Yes, and what a jump it will be.
No, the jump is tomorrow. This is Destiny.
See y'all later.
Well, until then, visit Adventure Oklahoma in Roland, brought to you by Auto Finders. AutoFindersOK.com.
Your journey starts here.
For too long, our rural communities have been left behind. It shouldn't matter where you live, everyone needs access to the justice system. I'm Justice Rhonda Wood, and I'm running for Chief Justice of the Arkansas Supreme Court. I understand the challenges that our rural communities face, and I've worked to create solutions for courts across the state. I will make improving our justice system in rural communities a priority as your next Chief Justice. I'm Rhonda Wood, and I'm asking for your vote on November 5th, because Arkansas is stronger when our communities are stronger.
Paid for by Wood for Justice.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure and get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center. 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
Are you tired of processed meat and flimsy sandwiches? Subchain's gotten your last nerve? Then I have the place for you. Come see my buddy Josefa at Lily's Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District in downtown Fort Smith. Locally sourced meat sliced daily and fresh breads from Harvest Moon Bakery. Daily specials announced on Facebook, including the Poke Bowl every Friday and Saturday. For to-go orders, call 479-567-3403.
My name is Lily. My papa makes the best sandwiches at Lily's Sandwich Shop. Come by and see him at the Bakery District today.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. Here at ESPN Arkansas, we rely on Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on the radio station when we're not here. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your stuff. Guardtronic, license E50.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Let the good times roll. Let them knock you around. Let the good times roll. Let them make you a clown. Let them leave you up in the air. Let them dance you rock and roll. Let the good times roll.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I think it's a lot of fun. You know, we've had 4 games now, and of course the first one was a Hudson Clark. 3 picks and 7 turnovers, and the next one was I went for 2 and we didn't make it, and then the next year gets us bowl eligibility, and we dominated that game from the beginning. Last year's game was certainly a tight game with I believe we were tied maybe in the 4th there and ended up losing, but all 4 games have been very competitive, and looking for the same type of situation on Saturday.
I'd say all but one of those games it was really competitive, with the exception of the 2022 win to get bowl eligible when they brought out Larry. That was the second year in a row we saw. Might see Larry on Saturday. Who knows? He's lurking there somewhere near the jukebox. We've heard the jukebox a few more times this year than some people expected, even in the SEC 3 times compared to 1 time last year. Maybe we break Larry out, Matt. I love to go bowling.
Well, I mean, I'm ready for Larry to come out of the closet myself. Ole Miss is, you start looking at it, and I know you like to give a lot of numbers, Phil. You do great research. And when I think of Ole Miss's defense, and I'm saying they're like A&M, Tennessee, LSU. So let's start really diving into it. Let's see what's going on. A&M, we scored 17 points in an L. Tennessee, we scored 19 points in a win. LSU, we scored 10 points in an L. That looks like, can we score 19 points on this Ole Miss defense? Are we going to have 3 turnovers? Are we going to take care of the ball? Does it come down as being simply having 0 turnovers and being able to get to 24 and we'll be able to win this game?
That's a good question. And it's funny. I was bringing up the idea of 1 week doesn't always lead to the next and everything. And it's like you look at 58 points against Mississippi State and realize I think they hadn't scored 58 in the previous 3 games combined. So you're not going to get anywhere near that. Getting into the 30s against Ole Miss would be an accomplishment because the most they've allowed this year is 29, and that was an overtime against LSU. So, yeah, you got to get into the 20. You're going to have a great performance on both sides of the ball, truthfully. I think you're going to need – they had their best defensive performance this year, Matt, against Tennessee. Come to find – I think Tennessee isn't as good offensively as they looked before they played against Arkansas. I think the Hogs exposed them in some ways. They're going to have to play their best game of the year. They would have needed their best game to beat LSU. Didn't have it. Going to need their best game on not just on both sides, but in special teams as well to win this game. And that, to me, that's what this next month has to be about. If you're going to have a Frank Broyles November to remember, now is when you're going to be playing your best football. Last year, November was when the rope got dropped. That's not happening right now. They have a lot to play for.
Well, here's one thing I do know about Jackson Dart. If you can fluster him, if you can flush him, he's like you said, he's a 2-way quarterback. He can run, he can throw. He's going to be the second best quarterback we've played against all year so far. The kid at LSU is the best, I think. And A&M, they didn't know, we had both they were hurt or whatever. So honestly, I think Jackson Dart's the second best quarterback we've played all year. So which one of these quarterbacks is going to establish himself? Which one of these quarterbacks is going to be able to keep the offense getting a first down, keeping the momentum, keeping the time of possession? That's what LSU did against us, and we could never really get on that track. Who gets on track against Arkansas and Ole Miss? Who's able to kind of control the line of scrimmage and keep the ball, get a couple first downs? Because you go 3 and out 3 straight times against Ole Miss, you're going to look up and it's going to be 24-0.
That's right. That's right. Do you think they'll – so I think Kudus looked better than Blackstock against Mississippi State. He got more snaps, and judging from what Sam Pittman said, he really did like what he saw from Patrick Kudus specifically.
Yeah, they both played well. Kudus played a few more snaps than Blackstock did. Both of them had great attitudes about their situation. As we're moving forward, we'll continue to evaluate that. But they both played well. Kudus played exceptional for his first game back. He played really well.
So the appreciation that in the 4 games that are remaining, Kudus won't play against Louisiana Tech in order to conserve his red shirt. Do you still platoon the 2 of them at left guard? I don't like platoon might not be the right word, but they're playing out this position battle in games. And yes, in practice too, but I think the game action and game tape has something to do with that. And maybe against Mississippi State, you can feel like you're experimenting a little bit with who you're putting in at left guard. I'm not sure if you can do that against Ole Miss. I don't know if you can do that against Texas.
Phil, offensive line has to be one of the hardest positions to play. I mean, it is tough. Yeah, I think the most talented, if you're just saying based on pure talent, who's more talented, I think Kudus has more talent. But stamina, knowing the offense, there's a lot of questions that go into it. Maybe you want to let him play the first quarter and see how he feels. And if he's still feeling good, you keep him out there. But you always have that if he needs Anthony Richardson, if he needs to tap his helmet and say Anthony Richardson rule, then, you bring somebody else in.
I don't think – is that what that's become? It's become the Anthony Richardson –
Well,
the Anthony Richardson rule. Nobody wants a rule named after them like that, but I can see why you would.
It's the No Moss. It's the Roberto Duran. I've never seen anything like a quarterback doing that. Now, so you see a receiver run 4 straight sprints and catch a ball and he taps his helmet. That's totally understandable. But a quarterback doing that was wild.
Hey, because one of your former teammates in Jacksonville, and we've talked about Byron Leftwich before. His lineman literally dragged him down the field so he could stay and continue to quarterback the Marshall Thundering Herd. What do you think Leftwich thought when he saw Richardson tap out?
Leftwich was a coach on the field, man. You didn't want to let him down. Leftwich, he was an ultimate player. That's no wonder he went into Tampa and they won a Super Bowl when he was the OC there with Brady. But he was, man, yeah. I've never seen a guy universally liked by all the players as much as the Leftwich was. I mean, everybody loved that dude.
Well, getting a little bit more back to Ole Miss, sacks are a major issue, and pressure that goes along with the sacks too. Sam Pittman here talking on how to combat the Ole Miss pass rush.
They're good. Every spot up there, they're good. I mean, real good. We're going to have to run the football and stay out of some long situations. We're going to have to play well at tackle, play well inside, which we're playing better. But that is a big challenge for us. And, we may have to throw a draw in there, a screen here and there to try to slow that pass rush down, have different snap counts because they obviously are very, very talented.
You look at some of the recent games for the Rebels in the SEC, South Carolina and Oklahoma were able to keep their quarterbacks mostly upright, and they ran the ball with a little more success than what some of the other teams did. The only issue is it didn't really lead to a ton of points. Carolina scored 3, and Oklahoma didn't score in the second half at all. So they just seem like a really difficult team to be able to establish the run against Matt. And then if you're trying to establish the pass, and they got pass rushers that can pin their ears back and find a way to get to the quarterback. It's a good thing that Taylon Green that knee looked as good as it did last week, because I have a feeling he's gonna have to get out of their way just himself at times.
Yeah, hopefully he's healthy enough to to have 50+ rushing yards. I think we'll need that. Travis Williams, it's going to be a massive assignment for him and his defense, and hopefully the offense can help the defense. You can't have any pick sixes. You can't turn the ball over, because I believe it'll come down to there'll be about 3 or 4 drives where Ole Miss will be on our side of the 50, and they'll be getting down to where it's a 3rd and 7, a 4th and 3, and it's, do we get that stop right there, and do they continue on and get 7, or is he able to do like he was in LSU and hold them to 4 field goal attempts right there? That's going to be key. So a little bend, don't break, and if you every time you can hold Ole Miss to 3, man, that'd be good. But that'll come down. There's going to be 3 or 4 times Ole Miss is going to go for it on 4th down. And we'll see how this defense plays.
You can look back at some of these numbers. I think I was looking at the opponent's page for those games. Yeah, they did the opposite against Oklahoma as far as the quarterback staying up. 10 sacks, not 1. I looked at the opponent's page instead of the team page there. 10 sacks of Oklahoma. That's a record, by the way. I do remember reading their post-game notes. 10 sacks against OU. I've never heard of a game where a quarterback gets sacked 10 times.
Ole Miss is going to be fresh. I mean, Arkansas, I hope we're fresh, because it sounds like that was a pretty light matchup for them. And, Arkansas, we did our thing. We didn't strain too hard. We had fun. It's always nice to win like that. And maybe, just maybe, which I don't think so, because they've already taken the L's, but just maybe they're kind of overlooking Arkansas because Ole Miss has Georgia next.
I wondered about that. And you look at the loss they'd had previously to Kentucky, and that's the one that just out of any of the games that have happened this year, and that would include Vanderbilt against Alabama, considering how Vandy has played, not just in that game or since, but how they've played all year. How the hell did Kentucky beat Ole Miss in Oxford? How did that happen? This is a Kentucky team that is playing just horrendous football at the moment and does not have that line of scrimmage presence that admittedly they did have that day against Ole Miss, but haven't had throughout many other games this year, except maybe Ole Miss and against Georgia. So that it's, I guess, it'd be how the heck did that happen? And it's one of those games where you're like, all right, is this a portal thing? It's because the talent level and just the overall season performance would have said that Ole Miss should have absolutely blown them out. Maybe that was an aspect of that was their first SEC game, and they hadn't really played big boy football up until that moment.
Yeah, it could have been. You don't know how the injuries have been going since then, but yeah, because you look at Kentucky, they put up 13 against Vandy, 20 against Florida, and 10 against Auburn. Yeah, they're not. I don't know if they had a couple turnovers or what, because you would think Ole Miss would have been able to put up. They got to the quarterback 4 times, so there was that, and they had the only turnover. So you know what they did? They won the turnover battle. Maybe that's as simple as it comes down to it. Can you win the third? They won 3rd down? I mean, Ole Miss was 1 of 10 on 3rd down that day. That you're not going to win a lot of games going 1 of 10 on 3rd down. They were 2 of 2 on 4th down. That's the thing. Lane Kiffin, he gets on that side of the 50. He'll go for it on 4th down.
Heck, depending on the opponent, he might go for it on his side of the 30-yard line. I've seen him do that against Alabama. Who knows? Wouldn't expect him to try that against Arkansas on the road, but I don't know. Kiffin's one of those coaches that's very much a wild card, and of course that goes along with the faked injuries that I'm sure will draw plenty of boos and catcalls all throughout the game on Saturday, because feels like you can't trust when anybody goes down. I saw one of the Mississippi State defenders went down when it looked like Arkansas was really getting a drive going, and the kid didn't, but he did need help off the field. Like, it was a legitimate, maybe he was that good of an actor. I don't know, but it looked like he needed help off the field. With Ole Miss, it's like nobody trusts a single, like injury, maybe not, but would look like a pulled muscle or a cramp. Nobody trusts any of that. But it'll come at some point.
Medical staff, yeah, hey, just stay down. Hang on, catch your breath, stay down. All right, stay down. All right.
My favorite is when you see the guy go over to the sideline and a coach like kind of lean over the sideline and say something to him. Then he must have said something which was incredibly painful, because the next thing you know was down in a heap, which was like me 2 Sundays ago. I looked like an Ole Miss defender faking an injury when I sneezed and my back went out, but that was legitimately like a real thing. And there wasn't anybody around to boo me either, but there also wasn't anybody around to help pick me up. And I would have needed the help at that moment. Could have used the doctor a little bit. It's a good thing I'm up right now. Chris says Kentucky couldn't run the ball against Ole Miss in that game.
I don't know a lot of people that can run the ball against Ole Miss. That's the thing. And Petrino, he likes to kind of get away from the run a little bit, but it's like, man, you got to keep running the ball, keep trying to make them tackle you. You keep the clock moving, you shorten the game, that limits their time of possession. You know, every time you throw an incomplete, the clock stops. It's I mean, you got to try to wear it's, and especially as long as it's a one-score game. I get it if you're down 17 or down 24, the game's getting away from you, but this is a game really where you got to just keep going to it, man. You got to keep chopping wood. You got to try to have 30-plus carries with our running backs this game.
Now, there are going to be some positive carries out there for you. And keep in mind, I mean, one of the reasons why Ole Miss's rush defense is ranked where it is that sacks go against your rushing totals. And they lead the SEC. They're number 2 in the nation in sacks. So that goes along with it. 76.6 yards per game, 2.1 rush yards per carry. But if you're just looking at the tackles for loss, which sacks are a big part of it, opponents have lost 351 yards against Ole Miss.
Run the ball, throw off a play action, quick game. There's ways that you can negate that. And Petrino's 1,000 times smarter than I am when it comes to all this stuff. I mean, obviously, but run the ball. You got to have a play action pass game, quick game. And then didn't Coach talk about draws and screens? There's so many ways to do it and so many plays to go. And what does Arkansas struggle with the most on offense? Passing the ball when everybody in the stadium knows you're going to pass the ball. That's our thing that we struggle with. We get into scenarios like that, Ole Miss is going to eat us up.
877-377-6963 if you'd like to touch on that on our text line or the hotline. Quick break. We'll be back to wrap up our first hour on Halftime.
You trying to say Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball?
This is Halftime.
It's fall cleanup time at Gray Brothers Equipment. From the large M7 Series cab Kubotas to the L2502, the best-selling compact tractor in Arkansas and Oklahoma. Gray Brothers and Kubota will make your fall cleanup a breeze. With great pricing and interest rates as low as 0% for 84 months, they're making fall cleanup enjoyable again at Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon. Now through 12/31/2024. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
At Our Best Bank, we believe in the power of community. That's why we recognize, serve, and support communities of all kinds. From small towns to big cities, business startups to large companies, young families to seniors, and those with shared backgrounds and interests. We value your contributions and are proud to work alongside you because every community deserves a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank. We believe.
When a Newmeyer's involved, you know you're going to get great food and have an awesome time. Hey, Ty Richardson for Newmeyer's Rib Room and Beer Garden. They've been whipping up the best ribs, tamales, and smoked wings for years. Rib Room has live bands for you through the month of October and game day specials. For to-go orders, call 479-494-7427. Newmeyer's Rib Room and Beer Garden, located at 424 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith.
It's sad that we live in an unsafe world, but we do. Would you be able to show the police who was at your home if something was taken? Guardtronic installs alarm systems as well as camera systems. We here at ESPN rely on our Guardtronic installed cameras to keep an eye on what's going on around our building, as many of you do. Guardtronic has been serving the River Valley for over 60 years. Call Guardtronic for a free estimate so you'll be able to show the police who the bad boys are that took your belongings. License E50.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Rumors spreading round. United take the time. Riders back outside the game. You know what I'm talking about. Just let me know if you're gonna go to that home out on the range. They got a lot of nice girls. I'm ready.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
I'm scrolling down the list of World Series here. Haven't had a sweep since 2012. Giants took 4 in a row from the Tigers that season. Man, there isn't anything more disappointing for baseball fans who don't have a dog in the race when it comes to the World Series than with a sweep. Because you know, Matt, how I root for it. I mean, I'm all Yankees today. In fact, I'm all Yankees for the next 3 games. So I don't think there's going to be another 3 games. Most of these series, when you get up 3-0, they end in 5. At the latest, they end in 5. But because New York choked on that 3-0 lead back in 2004 against Boston, yeah, people will think about it. Came close in an NHL and the Stanley Cup Finals last year, but I don't see it happening. Hope it does, but it ain't gonna.
Gotta get a lead. I don't know how. I haven't seen the Yankees with a lead much.
That's right. First inning home runs kind of take care of that.
They well, I mean, the Dodgers. I mean, they've outclassed them in every way. I mean, defensively, even starting pitching, which everybody said that's what the Dodgers didn't have. I mean, Walker Buehler yesterday. That was as fun as a time I had watching a pitcher in a big time moment and watching him throw his stuff that I've had in a while. I mean, that dude was on, man.
That was the Buehler that they signed as a first round
how fun
pick.
was that, man? They said he had in those first 4 innings, he had like 4 or 6 missed fastball strikes. He hadn't had 6 all year, and he just had it in one game. It was just he was throwing whatever he wanted to.
You know, and you think of some of the pitchers that would be on this team but are injured. I mean, like Tyler Glasnow, Clayton Kershaw, heck, Shohei Ohtani. He's injured as a pitcher, not really as a hitter, although, you know, now he is.
I thought it was funny too. The very first bat, he's up there, Phil. They didn't throw him a strike. I would have thrown him a strike to see if he was going to swing. He didn't swing. He didn't swing the bat, and you put him on to start the game.
I was listening to the game. My son had a Little League game last night, so I was watching 3 games at once. I watched the Little League game right in front of me, flipping back and forth between the World Series and the Steelers-Giants Monday Night Football game, and sometimes I'm listening to the Dodger game. I'm listening to Ohtani's first at bat and the way that I forget the name of the gentleman who's filling in for Charlie Steiner for the Dodgers. Charlie's recovering from his cancer is in remission, is what I read. And so they didn't throw him a single strike. I'm thinking, why not? This is when you bust a guy inside. Like if Freddie Freeman had a bum left shoulder, you'd be testing him inside. They didn't do that with Ohtani.
It was over as soon as Fat Joe walked out there and tried to.
Oh my!
That was the worst. I said I thought the game started after the national anthem. What is Fat Joe doing this? Oh, that was hard to watch.
He brought some Grim Reaper energy to Yankee Stadium.
That was so bad.
Ice Cube before game 2 was outstanding. He had a great entrance and everything. No,
they lost the game right there. Yeah.
That's exactly right. It was just bad juju from the start. Halftime continues into hour number 2. Stay with us.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients better lives with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, now offering same-day crown service. Mention you heard this ad on ESPN Radio at your next appointment and receive a free bleaching kit or $100 off in-office accelerated whitening. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
October is Slingshot Month at Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith. We have a great selection of new Polaris Slingshots in stock, some with financing available as low as 1.99% for 36 months and 0 down payment with approved credit. Fall is the perfect time to get out and see the natural state in the new Slingshot from Wheeler Power Sports, serving all over Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma. WheelerPowersports.com. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
When I need a place to stay in Northwest Arkansas, I always choose the Inn at the Mill. It's centrally located in the heart of NWA at the Johnson exit off I-49 and is the most unique choice of hotels in the region. Whether you're in town for the game, a concert at the Amp, business travel, or just a weekend away, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious, clean room ready for you. Reserve your stay at the Inn at the Mill, 479-443-1800, or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. It'll be a breezy day. A high this afternoon, low 80s with south winds anywhere from 20 to 30 miles per hour. Mainly clear. We drop down in the low to mid 60s overnight. Sunny sky Wednesday. A chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm high on Wednesday. And the upper 70s to low 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grant Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. KERX Paris Fort Smith. You're listening to ESPN 95.3.
Touchdown, Arkansas! How did he get that wide open?
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Don't ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah. Judge, man, take it to the house.
You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Number one Razorback is vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Welcome back as we continue on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. With halftime, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Christian Johnston continues in our studios. And we'll have Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation in a little bit. Calls and texts always come in at 877-377-6963. I have a lot of envy for Alyssa. A couple of reasons. One, her major league team is a win away from winning a World Series. My major league team hasn't even been in a World Series since I was 2 years old. And she's in New Orleans. And I have envy for anybody that is in the Crescent City. So I guess we like to have things go in threes. I can't figure a third thing yet. She's got the television career, and nobody needs me on TV. So I'll just go with those first two, Matt.
Yeah, Alyssa's in a purple patch. You know, she's got it. She's got it going on, man. That's it's always nice when what did the unit say? He said, "Man, just one a year. One of my teams a year can hold the trophy. I'm good." I think Alyssa's keeping. She's pretty close.
It's always nice when you can just sort of, just sort of delineate which of your teams you feel like you would like to win a championship. I used to feel that way in the early to mid '90s when it looked like the Pirates were gonna at least play in a World Series. The Penguins had things going on with back-to-back Stanley Cups. And there was a year where Pittsburgh won a Stanley Cup and a Super Bowl since I've been alive. But this is more my speed. Tyler in El Dorado texted in. He asked, what's more likely to happen first? Steelers win a Super Bowl, Pirates win a World Series, or Pittsburgh gets an NBA team? Simple answer. I'll be the president of France before the Pirates win a World Series or Pittsburgh gets an NBA team. So you get to look behind door number one, Tyler. It's just not a city that's ever going to get NBA basketball. It's a three-team city, and, yeah, Pirates are basically like half a team anyway. But, so, Seaburger, you're talking about the Mavs, you're talking about the Cowboys, and
Razorbacks.
The Cubs and the Razorbacks, right? Those are your teams?
Yeah, about two of them have a decent shot of actually winning a title, and that's probably a slim shot, but they have a shot.
Hey, you have a top 5 player in the NBA right now, and you always have a shot when you have a top 5 player in the NBA.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the Mavs have a decent shot as long as Luka's on that team. He's healthy. And
if he's healthy, oh, dude.
Kyrie. Yeah.
Well,
and then, obviously, the basketball Razorbacks, I think they have it.
There you go.
They have the talent to win a championship.
And your baseball Razorbacks.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so. I think basketball and baseball will have the kind of talent where I think it's safe to at least discuss that possibility both ways. Not make any plans for March or for June just yet, but I think the expectations will be set, and I think they will be set for a reason, and I think they're legitimate expectations too. Here's Charlie, 877-377-6963 for calls and texts on halftime. Good afternoon, Charlie. What's going on?
See, Phil, this is what I love about this show because, see, you guys can just touch everything, right? We go everywhere on this show. We go all over the world on this show.
Just skimming the surface sometimes, Charlie, just a skim.
And look, the thing is, C-Unit, he's come to the realization, like me. Now, C-Unit, you're 28, 29, right, buddy?
29.
Okay, so I was born in 92, so, the Cowboys were, winning the Super Bowl at that point, but all I was doing was, peeing in my mom's face or something like that. I wasn't really doing much but whining and doing. Well, you know what happens with little boys. Come on, guys. It's an accident. It's not on purpose.
I'm just going to allow you to. I should have not said a thing. He's just allow you to move past that one.
My mom told me that I would just do it and then giggle. You know how babies do. We don't know any better.
I was going to say we're going to move past that thing for a moment.
Well, I feel like that's the Cowboys won in '95 when Switzer was there, and then '96 they made it to the championship game. But I didn't fall in love with football, and I've said this before, and when I saw Matt play against Ole Miss. So that was it. So I would have been like 9 years old at that point. And so for me, yeah, I feel the same way, Phil. I kind of feel like about my Cowboys like you do about your Pirates. It's almost similar feeling. I think we could relate on this.
Here's the difference, though. No, we can't really relate on this. So I still do have a belief that in Major League Baseball, small market teams that don't quite have the revenue of the big market teams can't really spend the kind of money that other teams
That's
can.
true.
Cowboys are the most valuable franchise in sports. Like that's more about personnel and being prideful, I think, or just not getting out of your own way.
Well, yeah, that's a good way to put it, not getting out of your own way. And I was listening to somebody talk about, they were talking about Dak yesterday, and Shannon Sharp said, I don't know what people expect him to do when you can't run the ball and you're last in running. And he also made the point, Matt, that you talk about, why have they not invested in getting a number 2 receiver? That is one of my biggest gripes too. When you can't run it, you better be able to throw it. And CD, as we know, is a top guy. But look at all these guys out here. I mean, and we don't make a move. Anyways, that's beside the point. This game this weekend with Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin. What is that he talks about, Matt? He don't believe in being physical in fall. Didn't he say something like that?
I think the spring they didn't do I think they just did like a walkthrough for their spring game. I don't think they were tackling, yeah.
Okay, well, and that's my thing. Like, so I get all that, and I think they're good against it, but you know what? They hadn't faced us yet. So, and I don't mean that as cocky. I just think that at the end of the day, we need to go in there with a determination. We just got to be us. We got to run the football. I know they're good against the run. But have they really faced someone that has been able to go at them on the ground? I would have to look at their schedule. But, I'm not saying they hadn't faced anybody good because they lost a couple games. But that we got to go in there and we got to be aggressive, and that's what's going to help Talon. That's why these tight ends got open, right? Because we were able to run the football. I hated about Ty Washington. I hated about Gums that is gone, but we're going to be fine. Everything's going to be good. So anyways, y'all have a good one.
Thank you, Charlie. Sam Pittman did touch on the tight end position, and Maddox Lassiter potentially playing a little bit more, maybe even at that position.
And Lassiter's played a lot of ball, so I have a lot of confidence in him. We also got Josh Street ready when we were banged up a little bit, and we'll have a few more ideas for that position. But I think Lassiter's role we may have to give him a few more responsibilities, maybe some online. We haven't used him a lot there. Obviously, we believe in him because he's played a lot of ball for us.
He's the next one. I think he's still a preferred walk-on. I don't know if Lassiter's gotten a scholarship, but he's the next one to get one.
Well, I don't know. Did they say what happened with those 2 kids?
No. Sam didn't really – he was – you could kind of tell he was a little bit uncomfortable even bringing it up. It had to press him a couple of times. Tom and Otis had heard the rumors, so they asked him about it, and he just said, yeah, they're not on the team. He didn't say anything why. At the end of the press conference, it said that, do they have a chance to come back? No, they don't, and it was pretty much just left at that.
Well, in 2 years, Luke Haas is hurt more than he's healthy, so that's what I was getting at. That's kind of scares me. I'm a Luke Haas fan, don't get me wrong, but let's just say how many games, since the start of his freshman year to now, he's missed a lot of ball, so do we have enough depth? Do we have guys? That could hurt us, man. You would have to be a lot of 10 personnel, a lot of 11 personnel. I mean, you won't really be able to go 12.
There's been a lot of 12 this year too.
That's what I'm saying. You won't. That the play that we had with the fake and he throws it to Luke Haas. The play act. That's a heavy personnel formation. How are you going to get there? Are you going to have to maybe use a black stock? Are you going to have to use somebody to report eligible to get in format? Which if that's what you're doing, that'd be fine. But yeah, it kind of scares me. If Luke Haas is healthy, then we're fine. It's just if can he stay healthy?
And Poshka too, like him catching 3 passes against State. I think was big because now it's not like he's like some big pass catching tight end or anything, but he looked comfortable running the route. He had a couple of touchdowns. He did exactly what they needed to do, and he's a really good blocking tight end. But you're down to 2 tight ends now at a position that really was one of the deeper positions on the entire team. So what was the game where they really were just down to 1 tight end? Because Washington, Has, and Poshka were all out for, was it the Tennessee game or LSU? I can't remember which one. It was one of the recent games, and Josh Street, who's an offensive lineman from Fayetteville, he would line up as a blocking tight end, and I think they're talking about Lassiter potentially doing this too. I wouldn't expect either of them are going to catch passes, but I think they still want to use that 12 personnel, and maybe occasionally getting 3 tight out ends there when they go heavy, but it won't be players that came in to the program as tight ends, and in different ways than like a Trey Knox switching positions because you wanted his size and his pass-catching ability at that position. This is all about having a couple extra blockers when you need it. But I do agree, that's got to be something that in the last month of the season worry's not the word, it's just something to pay attention to. Pay attention to your craves when you need something sweet and delicious by getting over to Andy's Frozen Custard on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Plus locations in Conway on East Oak Street and Dave Ward Drive, and in North Little Rock on JFK Boulevard. When you're looking to cool or satisfy that sweet tooth, Andy's has you covered with the greatest frozen treats around. And on football Saturdays, the best thing to do is take home a pick 6. Mix and match 6 of your favorite flavors for the perfect game time treat at Andy's Frozen Custard. That's Rogers Avenue, Fort Smith, East Oak Street and Dave Ward Drive in Conway, JFK Boulevard, North Little Rock. Andy's Frozen Custard, walk up or drive through, ready to serve you. Alyssa Orange is in New Orleans. She'll join us right after this on Halftime.
This is Halftime.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Hey, Todd Richardson for Jim. They have several locations in the Arkansas area, but I specifically want to talk to you about Jim Mart number 10. Great deli. My goodness. Great lunch, great dinner. But have you had the breakfast yet? It's the best in town. And they have that convenient drive-through window. So when you're heading north or south on 540, take exit number 6 for Jim Mart number 10. 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith. Jim, the leading gas station and convenience store in the area.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients better lives with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, now offering same-day crown service. Mention you heard this ad on ESPN Radio at your next appointment and receive a free bleaching kit or $100 off in-office accelerated whitening. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
From the Buffalo River to the Louisiana line, from the Texas and Oklahoma borders to the capital city and into the Delta, the natural beauty, the natural resources, and the hardworking citizens make Arkansas Sports District more than just the heart of the natural state. It is a land of opportunity to raise families, to build communities, and to do our part for a brighter future. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman. It's an honor to serve you. I approve this message and sincerely ask for your vote.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
With everyday low prices on top brands, locally owned Yeager's Ace Hardware is committed to offering real service with real savings. Don't miss our Ace Rewards member thank you sale, offering 20% off and 2 times points November 1st through 3rd. Grab your coupon in any store for details and exclusions. And don't miss the opening of our new store in Barling this Monday, November 4th. Yeager's, serving the River Valley for 65 years. Order online now and pick up in the store or curbside anytime. Find more everyday low prices online at YeagersHardware.com.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
It's fall cleanup time at Gray Brothers Equipment. From the large M7 Series cab Kubotas to the L2502, the best-selling compact tractor in Arkansas and Oklahoma. Gray Brothers and Kubota will make your fall cleanup a breeze. With great pricing and interest rates as low as 0% for 84 months, they're making fall cleanup enjoyable again at Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon. Now through 12/31/2024. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information.
When your carpets, upholstery, and floors look dirty and stained, call your local Service Master Clean at 646-4087. Service Master Clean is an industry leader and can remove the toughest stains from your home or office. And they back their work with a satisfaction guarantee. Eliminate dirt and grime from your carpet, hardwood, tile, and laminate floors. Call your local Service Master Clean, 479-646-4087. That's 646-4087 or online at ServiceMasterPC.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Well, I snuck to the window, leave her a note. Will you come meet me at the back of the grove? All the trees were in bloom. That's the smell in the air. We were trembling together. We were young, we were scared, yeah. True love.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Hey, Matt, do you like oysters? Have you ever been an oyster guy? Fried oysters, grilled oysters, raw oysters, you ever eat those?
You're asking me? Oysters, I never order those for the table ever. But if you were to order them, then I would eat one. Yeah.
Alyssa Orange has been ordering oysters because she's in New Orleans.
Ooh.
That's what you do when you're there. Alyssa, how many oysters have you slogged down in the last couple days?
So here's the deal, guys. I have a very strong sensitivity to oysters, but when you are filming food segments in New Orleans and you're at Felix's Oyster Bar, you eat what chef makes you.
Okay, so I see it's on your Twitter right here. You're at Felix's Oyster Bar, which is a fantastic place. There's a big plate of what looks to be oysters Rockefeller potentially, and a smile on your face.
Charred grilled
There's
oysters.
a charred grilled.
Yeah.
Are those?
Yep.
Is that a fake smile? And what would happen if you eat one of them?
I did eat one of them, and luckily nothing too terrible happened. So that was a plus. I was really gambling, to be honest with you guys. And they were quite delicious. And it is a real smile.
Okay.
I was very happy with those oysters I helped watch be made.
Okay, very, very good. Because I've some people that don't like them have described it as basically just like eating snot. So I don't know if you felt.
Yeah, but these were cooked, so I feel like it's a little different.
Okay. Is your champagne on ice today? Our favorite Dodger fan.
Woo! I hope so. I'm gonna have to find me a place that's gonna have it ready to go by.
Oh no, there's no
hopefully-
places in New Orleans that have champagne ready at a moment's notice.
Somewhere by myself to celebrate. If it happens, I tell you what, my hotel's right down the street from the Caesar Palace. That used to be the Harrah's, right on Canal Street. So I might have to venture down and do some celebrating if it all goes my way tonight. Thank you.
Alyssa, it's like I did not think they had the pitching to even. It's not even like the depth of pitching to get to a 6 or 7 game series, and they might not even need that though. The starters have been much better than I expected, and it's like this is not the Dodger team comparatively to some of the others from the last 10, 11, 12 years.
Oh.
When you look at, there's Hall of Famers that aren't pitching for them, and All-Stars, guys like Glasnow and Kershaw and Ohtani not pitching. This is not the team I thought would shut down Yankee bats the way they have.
It has been a sight to see, and I think you have to tip your cap to Mark Pryor and that pitching staff on what they've been able to do and create with the arms that they have. And then you also have to look at guys like Jack Flaherty and Walker Buehler, who have been able to come in and pitch so well, and Yamamoto as well, because they understand that they have to be as successful as possible and stay in the game for as long as possible to make this bullpen work. And it has so far. And hopefully I'm not jinxing anything, but it has been, late in games. You look at last night, you look at the night before, and obviously you look at the game one and the walk-off grand slam by Freddie Freeman. I mean, those games slipped away towards the end, and they were able to hang on, but it's because their starting pitching was able to last so long. So it has been fun. I will not quote Kike Hernandez on air, but I feel it. I think this team is absolutely different.
Alyssa, Mookie Betts is one of my favorite players to watch out there in right field. And I know Freddie Freeman's still in the show. Is he your MVP? If the Dodgers win it tonight, who right now do you think wins World Series MVP?
Yeah, I don't think you can't give it to Freddie, especially when you've had a home run in every single game so far. If he hits it tonight, then that's 4 for 4, especially with everything he's gone through. It's hard not to give it to Freddie, but Mookie has played so well, and he comes in, too, with just that postseason stigma attached to him as well. And why can't Mookie Betts be the Mookie Betts we're used to seeing during the regular season when the postseason comes around? And so I don't want to take anything away from him. He's absolutely incredible and so much fun to watch, but I think that honor goes to Freddie.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the Astros with their World Series championship a couple of years ago, because everybody gave them grief, which was well-deserved for 2017 and sign stealing, and didn't have that World Championship taken away from them or vacated. And the Dodgers, until they win one that isn't in a strike-shortened season, they'll in people's minds, it's always going to be that asterisk, and that's what this World Series is about to me.
Yeah. It is. Well, I'm about over it as a fan. If one more person tells me that they want a fake World Series, I might lose my mind. So I think that this is peace of mind for them and peace of mind for all of us who are Dodgers fans, because I'm pretty much over it too.
Yeah. Arkansas, Ole Miss, these are usually really good games. Do you think the Razorbacks can establish the run game against Ole Miss? Sam says that's the way that you keep their pass rush off of you. But establishing the run against Ole Miss has been difficult, and certainly keeping their front seven off of quarterbacks has been nearly impossible.
Yeah, this is where I think I'm a little concerned, because despite what we saw against Mississippi State is the worst rushing defense in the country. And so now you still have Jaquindon Jackson, who is doubtful. Rodney Hill is probable. You're still leaning on Rashad Dubinion and Braylon Russell, but this is a different animal, and it's hard to read, because you could see what happened against LSU, and is that going to happen again against Ole Miss? You hope not, but you definitely are a lot more hesitant leading into this game than you were against the Bulldogs.
Well, Ole Miss is, I don't know what the line is right now here, but usually we view these two programs as kind of being pretty close to each other in terms of success over history. I mean, and Sam and Lane Kiffin were hired the same year, and Kiffin's got his program in a better position. I think Sam's done a nice job turning the team around from last year to this year. But it's almost like you're not comparing necessarily like Sam to Lane, but they always will be, because they were hired the very same year.
They always will be. Well, they always will be. And, of course, you remember throughout that whole entire coaching hire, there was talk that Lane Kiffin was going to come to Arkansas until Ole Miss swept in. And so there will always be a tie there between Sam Pittman and Lane Kiffin. And I understand maybe from a perception standpoint and a little bit in the numbers, too, that Lane has done better with the program. But at the end of the day, they did really well this offseason. And now they've got 2 losses in the SEC. And so this SEC championship, college football playoff aspirations that they've had is pretty much gone. And so what does that say about what Ole Miss is doing over there, and having all this talent and not being able to do anything with it? It's a very interesting back and forth, and I think it's a good topic of conversation to really see. is Ole Miss a better program than Arkansas? Because I think you can make an argument that it's not. It's not worse, but it's not in terms of what they're doing on the field. So I'm really curious how this game plays out. Like you said, these games are always so close. It was a 7-point game last year, even when Arkansas was struggling. So it's always chaos when these two teams meet on the football field.
Alyssa, I think this is one of those defenses like A&M, Tennessee, and LSU. I would put Ole Miss there. A&M, we scored 17, kept it close, lost. Tennessee, we scored 19, kept it close, we won. LSU, we scored 10 and lost by a lot. How do you see this game? Do you see a number in mind? Like, can Arkansas get to 24? Because I think we're going to have to score more than 10 points, what we put up against LSU, if we want to beat Ole Miss.
I think so too, but I think honestly, I mean, I was going to shoot for 24, but honestly, I think, Matt, it might have to be higher. It might have to be like 28 points for the Razorbacks just because of the offensive side of the ball for Ole Miss. But I also know that you have a Taylon Green who is much more healthy than he was against that LSU game, and I think that's why they only put up 10 points on the scoreboard. But you're going to have to score points, and that's always kind of been the thing with this Ole Miss game is you're going to have to put up a lot of points to be able to win on either side. And so they're going to have to find a way to get into the end zone a couple times. The red zone execution against Mississippi State was really good to see considering they were 0 for 0 in the red zone against LSU. And so can they keep that going? Can this offense not stall out inside the 20s and be able to put up touchdowns rather than field goals, because field goals aren't going to win you this football game.
Is there another gear for Green in the offense? We're watching Taylon Green just look like a better quarterback in these last 3 games, and it isn't just because Mississippi State's defense isn't any good, because he faced 2 teams before that whose defenses were good, and he just looks like a more comfortable quarterback. The accuracy numbers, I think, reflect that. He's getting more receivers involved in the offense. And, they broke out against Mississippi State. You're still waiting to see a breakout against a quality defense. Is there another gear, you think, against Ole Miss and even a quality defense like Texas and like Mizzou?
I think that we haven't seen the best Taylon Green yet. Absolutely. If that's what you're kind of talking about. If you remember watching some of that Oklahoma State game and clock management, there were a lot of times late in that game where Taylon would run down and he would look to the sidelines to see what Bobby Petrino wanted him to do, because he was still getting comfortable in that offense. And obviously, you don't want to disappoint Bobby. You don't want to do the wrong thing. There was still a little bit of hesitation there, and that's kind of slowly gone away. And it's why we're seeing Taylon a lot more comfortable, like you mentioned, but he's playing more confident because he understands this offense better and he's got better weapons around him, as opposed to feeling like, hey, I got to double check with my coach to make sure I'm about to do the right thing and not just go up to the line of scrimmage, snap the football, and be comfortable with what's about to happen.
All right, so what is it that brought you to New Orleans, and why did we not get invites either? Because I love New Orleans.
I apologize. I just rented a car from Columbus, Mississippi, and drove down here after the game on Sunday. But I am working on a special project for corporate and Nexstar. They called me after I got back from Paris and said, hey, we want to do this stuff with some chefs around the city of New Orleans as they get ready for the Taste of the NFL and Gen Youth, which is a nonprofit that helps with food insecurities in schools. And so I have spent yesterday eating way too much delicious food, including Bananas Foster's at Brennan's, which was unreal. And we're about to do some more here. We're driving through the French Quarter now, about to do some more. So,
truthfully, Alyssa, don't think I've ever been. I've never been more envious of anybody than I am of you right now, and that is no lie.
So much food and a juice cleanse on the way when I get back to Fayetteville.
Well, I'd be envious about everything except the juice cleanse. Safe travels home. Enjoy the Crescent City. Looking forward to seeing you Saturday. Thanks, Alyssa.
Thanks, Alyssa.
All right, guys. See ya.
Alyssa Orange, Pig Trail Nation, and a couple of days away from something that doesn't really sound all that good or tasty either. 877-377-6963 to get with us. I'm going to go juice cleanse for a moment. We'll be right back.
Oh, come on, guys. It's so simple. Maybe you need a refresher course. It's all ball bearings nowadays.
This is halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
The best mornings start with Wrangler. Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started on the right foot. Good mornings make for better days. Wrangler, for the ride of life.
This is halftime.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown Bar District.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pickup. Home. Drop off downtown Bar District.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, full deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Have you tried the TGI Friday weekday deals? On Monday, they have 50-cent wings, traditional or boneless, 10-piece minimum. Tuesday, cheeseburgers and fries with a fountain drink for $10. On Wednesday, Cajun shrimp and chicken pasta for only $12. On Thursday, enjoy a half a rack of ribs for only $12. Stop by and check out the weekday deals at TGI Fridays, I-540 at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. In here, it's always Friday.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 Fort Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Just mad about saffron. Saffron's mad about me. I'm just mad about saffron. She's just mad about me. They call me Mellow Yellow. Quite frankly, They call me Mellow Yellow, it's right, they call me Mellow Yellow.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
I try to limit my soda consumption, but I will say this. On Saturdays when we're at the football stadium, there's always plenty of soda around, and at Davis Wade Stadium on Saturday, it is a Coca-Cola school, and they had Mellow Yellow in the refrigerators, and that's what I chose to have after the pregame show was complete, because actually I like Mellow Yellow better than Mountain Dew. It's a perfectly chosen song, Matt, to lead us into the segment here, because there are other folks that feel like Mellow Yellow is the Fugazi Mountain Dew.
What is it? Mountain Lightning or Dr.
Thunder.
Yeah, they got. I think that might be the Fugazi, but that doesn't try to appear real. The Dr. Thunder that knows its place. So maybe you're right.
So that leads us right into it. For the first time, here's Fugazi.
It's all a Fugazi. You know what a Fugazi is?
Yeah, I know what a Fugazi is.
Fugazi. It's fake.
It's not like this in real life. How do you know it's a Fugazi?
I am telling you right now, Dapper, that is not real.
Fairy dust. It doesn't exist. It's never landed. It is no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not real.
So that's a Fugazi.
All right? Yeah, Fugazi.
It's a Fugazi.
Fugazi. It's a woozy. It's a...
I looked at it for 2 seconds. It's a fake.
We're kind of borrowing a phrase that, or a word that Matt has used quite a bit in the 2 years and plus that he's been co-hosting the show here with me. As you hear on the open there, Fugazi basically means something that's fake, isn't what it seems to be. So what in the world of sports right now, to you, our listeners, isn't what it seems to be is fake? What is a Fugazi out there for you? First thing I've got for you here is the Yankees. It's just that they do not look the part of a World Series contender. They do not look like American League champions. Even in other moments during the playoffs when they were winning in the first couple of rounds, just not making great plays in the field, sometimes having trouble with the routine play. And, man, you just got to run the bases a little bit better. Way too many outs on the bases. Matt, you pointed out Stanton getting gunned down at home plate yesterday. That was a really big moment. So, I mean, right now what the Yankees do is they either hit home runs or they don't get on base and don't drive them in. If you don't hit a home run, it's not a very you got to be a really good team in order to win an American League pennant, but then you got to keep playing really good baseball after that. And, Matt, they do not look like the part of a World Series contender. I'm here to tell you right now the Yankees look Fugazi.
Whose car is that? That's Lefty's car.
Even Big Papi in the postgame show yesterday discussing what he sees on the Yankee body language.
I tell you what, you hit home when you talk about the body language. Even when Fat Joe came out, the body language from the fan was like down. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Are we in a funeral already? You know what I'm saying?
I think we saw what was going on.
I tell you what, man, your body language had to be there all the way into the last out.
Yes.
Even when the home run was hit, they wasn't even celebrating.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you got to come back with the body language. But one thing I'm going to tell you that's going to happen tomorrow, Kevin. From the very beginning of the game, you're going to see everybody with those spies on. It doesn't matter if you're a starter, if you're a bullpen guy, you're against the wall. You have to come with every single weapon you have tomorrow to live every pitch, every inning, and try to win tomorrow.
Here's somebody that knows what this feels like, although not in the World Series necessarily. Big Papi remembered what it felt like to be down 3-0 to none to those Yankees. And they were down to their last strike, never mind the last out. Find a way to win it. I think I'd listen to what Big Papi says. And then the other aspect, too, is like, Matt, I could listen to Big Papi read the phone. If they're even on our phone books anymore, I could listen to that guy just talk. It's fun.
I think he has the right nickname. I don't think anybody can question that. He's definitely got the right nickname. Do you think, Phil, that the fact that the Yankees were able to get on the board late maybe show some life, because you're trying to reach for something. You're trying to build on something. The fact that, hey, we finally got across home plate, got a couple runs. Maybe they can build into that tonight.
Potentially so. I mean, usually it's about the next day's starting pitcher if you can carry into that momentum over. And I don't know who the Dodgers are going to start. So this is going to be one of those bullpen games that they've thrown in each level of the playoffs so far. Remember, they threw that, I think it was a shutout with 8 pitchers in the first round against the Padres, which I think was only the second time that had ever happened in baseball playoff history. I don't know. I mean, you would have expected them to come out with more energy yesterday just because it's in the Bronx, it's in front of their fans, and down 2-0. Maybe it is Big Joe. Maybe it is Fat Joe's problem. You heard Big Papi say even when Fat Joe came out, he was not a very good tone setter. Like, he's not a really good leadoff hitter, is he?
That's exactly what I thought. The same thing. I was like, what just happened? I said they just lost the game. It was like, I don't know, 15 years ago when the Texans were really good and they were wearing their Letterman jackets to the New England. They were going to play New England and they all had Letterman jackets. You're like, oh, they just lost the game before they even got out there.
Or what was it? The photo of the Giants on the boat in the bye week?
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. We got a bye week, so let's go. It's like, well, hang on just a second. Yeah.
Things can kill mojo a little bit. But also, this call by John Sterling, for me, goes to a little bit of the heart at what the Yankee fans are just expecting or hoping for every single time that Aaron Judge comes to the plate. And this isn't just on Sterling, because I've also misjudged plenty of fly balls myself, and maybe you misjudged it if you were watching Aaron Judge's at-bat with this description.
And the break ball, there it goes. Deep left center field, and Teoscar is there to make the catch. Oh, did I get fooled on that? What, with that swing and the ball majestically going to left field, Susan, I actually thought it was going to be out, and it wasn't close.
Let's see where there was a high cutter, and he really did get some good wood under it, but it looked obviously like it was off the end of the bat. And maybe I'm looking to see if the flags pull that. No, flag's blowing in a little bit.
Susan's such a great partner. She's looking for every excuse in the world for why Sterling misjudged that fly ball. They're not the easiest things to judge sometimes, but hey, Yankee fans too, I think they all would have felt the same way. Oh, yeah, Judge actually made contact with a hanging slider. It's got to go somewhere. Looks like it's going to go somewhere, and it went right into Hernandez's glove.
Yeah, he barely missed that, too. That was his pitch right there. He kind of got out a little in front of it, it looked like, or he hit on the end of the bat. But, yeah, it never looked when you're watching it that it got out. But sometimes, that's why he's got a sidekick, help you out.
Hog Wild says that the Oregon Ducks football team are Fugazi. I don't know the win over Ohio State. I'd have a little trouble going to that route, but I guess we'll find out. We'll find out in the playoff because they'll be there.
Ohio State, Penn State Saturday. We'll find out what Bill King thinks about that. That's going to be a good one.
What do you got? You got a Fugazi, man?
Well, the biggest Fugazi I know is over there in Europe, across the pond, and they go by the name of Manchester United. Ooh. And they pretend to be a team that's going to win titles, win trophies, compete in Europe. And no, they don't. They are not contenders. They are pretenders. They fired their coach Monday. They got beat 2-1 to West Ham, and they let him go. They're 3-2-4 this year through 9 games. They had 8 goals for them, 11 goals against them. They're sitting in 14th place. Top 6 places get European football in the Premier League. So that's what you're going for. And Man United is a team they appear to be a team that's like, hey, we're going to win titles. We're going to get first place. We're going to compete for the top 4. Not even close. They will not qualify for European play for next year. They're getting a new manager. I do like Marcus Rashford. I do like Casemiro. Their goalkeeper is one of the best in the world. They got a couple pieces that are nice, but they're supposed to be a team that competes with Real Madrid, a team that can compete with PSG, a team that can even compete in their own league, and they're not. They are treading water, and they are not very good right now.
Sounds like the equivalent, the soccer equivalent of the St. Louis Cardinals right now. You kind of anticipate that franchise competes for a division championship, for a league championship, to play in the World Series every single year, and they just don't look like that this year at all.
No, their coach had the second worst losing percentage of their last 7 coaches they had, and they're not a Ten Hag, and I like Eric Ten Hag. He's all right. He's from Amsterdam. He's all right. He just I wonder too if it's a talent problem from inside the organization, where maybe it's like the New York Jets, where you fire your coach and it's really not his fault. It's like the accumulation of talent you got isn't very good, to compete. You're supposed to give the appearance of, you have Galacticos, you got 5-star players everywhere. You have the highest payroll, like the Mets, like the Yankees. Every year you're top 4 in the payroll, but yet you're really underproducing.
You know who is not Fugazi, because he is as real as it comes? Cecil, and he's giving us a call here on halftime. Cecil, good to hear from you as always. How are you?
What's up, fellas? Hey,
enjoying the day. Thank you.
Is my radio up too well?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, I didn't know. I thought you had to be really close to it. I'm over in another room. I just got my intercom going. But hey, I know this really don't mean nothing right now, but I am really, listen, it's like a thorn in my butt to see that Texas A&M is not ranked over Texas, man. I don't get that, Phil. I don't get it, Matt. They undefeated in the SEC, okay? I get this. Why are they so stuck on Texas? Texas is really not that great. They ain't really played nobody, man. I've been focused down on this right here. And I honestly think that Texas A&M going to go undefeated. They're going to play Texas the last game. But all the rest of the games they got to play, they're going to win. The only test they have is South Carolina, and that's it. Now, for these other teams like Army, you got like Miami, they don't play nobody, man. The only competition they had was, I might have said this the other day I called in, but it's just getting on my nerves to see them in the top 25. And then they be talking about strength of schedule. How is that a strength of schedule? And then, I mean, you playing the name of the teams that used to be really good, but they're not. They're 1-6, 1-7 teams. They got all these rinky-dink teams all over these Power 5 schools, man. I don't get that. And they ain't respecting the SEC. They can't be, because they got teams over Texas A&M, and Texas A&M is undefeated. I don't get it. I already got my ticket for Saturday. Go Hogs.
All right, thanks, Cecil. I mean, it is worth saying A&M is undefeated only in the SEC. They still have that loss to Notre Dame. And, that's a thing. You get 2 teams here, Texas and Texas A&M. They've lost to a couple of pretty good football teams, with Notre Dame, and Texas has lost to Georgia. So, I mean, it'll all shake itself out once the real rankings come out next Tuesday. And now that I think of it, there's something else going on Tuesday as well next week. Wow, we're going to have some controversy all day long, and then in the evening when the first poll comes out from the committee. But I am interested to see if the committee's rankings look much different from the media's rankings, because just as he's saying here, I mean, they're supposed to get the top 12 teams into the playoff, and there's 1, 2, 3 undefeated teams, 2 of them playing in power conferences that are not within that top 12. So it'll be pretty interesting to find that out. Paul in Fort Smith says Texas is Fugazi, and Charlie says it's the Cowboys, and Ryan says don't tell Zach, but it's Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. I wonder the Penn State-Ohio State game this Saturday, if both those teams end up making it. I wonder how healthy that Penn State quarterback is, if they take that into account. But that's a big one. I think that Ohio State-Penn State game that's this week is just as big as the Texas A&M LSU game last week.
877-377-6963 is our number on halftime, and we'll take a quick break. Back to wrap up the second hour after this.
This is halftime.
In the communities we serve, we know your energy is best spent on the things you enjoy. That's why we're helping you save your energy with natural gas. More efficient than other energy sources, save your energy for cheering on the Hogs. Be tailgate ready with your natural gas-powered outdoor grill. Enjoy fast, cozy comfort from your natural gas fireplace when ball games get chilly. At AOG, we know your Razorback pride runs deep. Ours does too. And so does our commitment to caring for the communities we serve with always on energy. Visit AOGC.com.
Presented by Sharp Equipment. Check out the new Wacker Newson ST45 at Sharp Equipment. It's bigger, bolder, and is ideal for lifting and loading. The vertical path lift arm allows for easy load placement in demanding applications where reach and height is a requirement. For compact, heavy equipment with a great deal of power, visit them and check out the new Wacker Newson lineup at Sharp Equipment, 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith, or call them at 479-242-1406.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbIrdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted Best Garage Door Company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
Spooked by the thought of a custody battle with your ex? Get the chills thinking about high hourly billing from another lawyer? Don't hide in the dark. Call me, Jackie Mock with Mock Legal Solutions. Divorce and custody can be scary. You need an attorney who can help at a price you can afford. At Mock Legal Solutions, we offer flat fees and payment plans. Call today. The first consultation is always free. 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
That's the on the radio.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Now, you remember a couple days ago we were talking about eye black. I don't remember how we got on it or anything, but eye black was a conversation. And last night at the Little League game, one of the team moms tells one of the other moms that her son isn't supposed to wear the eye black the way that he's wearing it. And she's not, being judgy or anything like that. She's the league commissioner, so she's just like, hey, if somebody complains about your son's eye black, then we might have to do something, but nobody's complaining, so I'm just letting you know. I thought that the kid's eye black just kind of went down his face a little bit. I didn't see him until the game was over. I've never seen this kind of design, is it? It looked like the kid took the eye black and started at the top of his forehead and just drew circles around his entire face, starting from the top of the forehead down to his chin, then back around again, like and into smaller circles all the way around until he got to his nose. It wasn't eye black. It was just basically face black. It was the worst Halloween costume in baseball history.
I was gonna say October 31st is here. I mean, it's time. Either one of you guys, Phil, you dress up this year? Christian, you dress up this year?
I've been waiting to hear. So my daughter's got a party she's going to go to. So 15-year-olds don't want to be around their parents for this. My son, he doesn't know what he wants to. And usually by now we've got it all planned out. I have no clue. I might just be going out like I did last year, which is just got out of the shower guy.
They one of the best ones I saw was you just put some stitches under your pecs and just go out as a transgender, like, hey, I don't have this. Sometimes simplicity is better,
877-377-6963.
Why can't I? Elliot Page. That's who you are. You be Elliot Page.
I remember. What was that was an actress that was in the movie Juno, if I remember.
Yeah,
right?
she's adorable. And then she goes and says, no, I don't like my look.
Oh my gosh, JT sends in a text, says, I was at a 5 or 6 year old game last night. One kid's eye black looks like Pennywise. Yeah, wait until you see the kid's teeth, too. Stay with us. Hour number 3 of halftime right after the break.
Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing on all 2024 Buick Encore GXs at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Encore GX is a boldly styled 5-person SUV that is ready to reward. Up to $3,000 off and 0.9% financing for well-qualified buyers. This is a limited time offer. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith and online at harryrobinson.com.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Whether you are fishing a jetty on the Arkansas River or working around laydowns at Beaver, Washita, or Table Rock, the Heddon Super Spook Jr. is the topwater bait to call up summer bass. The Super Spook Jr. is a smaller version of the world's most famous topwater lure. The Spook is the original walk-the-dog lure and has been tricking big bass for almost 100 years. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere, the Heddon Super Spook Jr.
Top CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050. COP CDL Academy.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. It'll be a breezy day. A high this afternoon, low 80s with south winds anywhere from 20 to 30 miles per hour. Mainly clear. We drop down in the low to mid 60s overnight. Sunny sky Wednesday. A chance of an isolated shower or thunderstorm high on Wednesday. And the upper 70s to low 80s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grant Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. You're listening to ESPN 95.3. KERX Paris Fort Smith.
You sound like a participation trophy, Dad.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. Don't ask me if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
What's even one Razorback?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
It's hour number 3 of halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Colton Little takes over C45 in the producer's chair. Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio, 15 minutes from now. Wide open for you at the moment if you want to get in. 877-377-6963. 11 o'clock kickoff, Arkansas Ole Miss on Saturday. You look at the rest of the games across the SEC. This could be the best game of the weekend in the league. Usually, it's kind of odd to think of Florida Georgia just not really being all that of a competitive ball game. I think Georgia's won the last 3. A&M, Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee. I think you'll get maybe the best game coming from Ole Miss and Arkansas.
Vanderbilt, if they beat Auburn, then which not that you're pulling for Vandy, but if they beat Auburn, then Auburn there's no way they go bowling. So that's a big game, and what it does also is it gets Vandy to 6.
Sure does. Let's look who Vanderbilt's got left here, Matt, because they finish with they get Carolina after Auburn, then a bye, then LSU and Tennessee. I mean, there's 7 to 8 wins for Vanderbilt this year, which is just one of the weirder things in college football. Indiana being one of the others as well. Penn State, Ohio State, man, those are 2 logo blue blood schools. The Big Ten has been run for so long now by Ohio State and Michigan. You forget that Penn State for years was a program that was kind of ahead of both of those programs. When Penn State first joined the Big Ten, they became pretty close to a dominant program. They didn't win a national championship, I think, in the Big Ten, but they came really close, finishing second behind Nebraska in '95. And I don't think this is the game that James Franklin has been known to lose at Penn State instead of win. Kind of the same idea as Jim Harbaugh against Ohio State, until Ryan Day took over the job there. And, they get them at home. They get them with ESPN doesn't air the game, but everybody's focused in on Happy Valley. Fox is doing their big noon kickoff there. ESPN does game day there. And the winner there, it's not necessarily takes over first place, but you're kind of looked at as maybe this is Penn State's opportunity in some folks' eyes to leapfrog over Oregon. I don't know who Oregon has this week, but
they go to the big house.
Convincing win over Ohio State for Penn State could put them in a really, really good position because the final 4 games they have, they shouldn't have too much problem. They don't have to make any crazy trips out to the West Coast. No teams that really are battling for positioning in the Big Ten. Washington, Purdue, Minnesota, and Maryland are the last 4 games left. This is a chance to actually have a team that could finish undefeated with Penn State. But yeah, so much of it has to do with whether or not Drew Aller is healthy, and it looks like he's going to be a game-time decision. So this would be the number one topic across college football in terms of availability, whether or not they're going to be using Drew Aller at quarterback or Bo Prabula, which I don't know much about him, but he's their second stringer, and he may end up taking some very important snaps on Saturday.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good one. I'll definitely be looking forward to that one. My eyes will be mainly on Mississippi, Arkansas, but I'll be watching that game. I'll have to check that one out for sure.
You know, there are games that kind of take people's interest away here, like looking at the Big 12, Texas Tech, Iowa State. That'll be that's a good game. Iowa State undefeated, so Texas Tech has played well to a point this year, but they're coming off back-to-back losses to Baylor and TCU, two teams that haven't really been all that good. Kansas State at Houston should be a walk for K-State. Houston's had a really rough year. Yeah, no really great Big 12 games going on here. ACC's got a really interesting game in Dallas, Pitt and SMU. This is the only ranked matchup in that league. Pitt 3-0 in the league, SMU 4-0. Teams have combined to go 14-1. So that's one that'll get a lot of eyes. But yeah, it's mostly about Ohio State and Penn State this week. And just like Michigan a couple years ago, well, right after Day took over, that's when Michigan started to beat them. But he's still been able to beat Franklin and Penn State every year they've played. So like I grew up in an era where Penn State was independent football was a big thing then. It wasn't just Notre Dame. It was the Eastern schools. It was Miami. Yeah, Penn State and Miami, when they played in a national championship game in the Fiesta Bowl all those years ago, it was two independent schools going at each other. And I still have trouble not envisioning Penn State as a national contender. But truly, Matt, they haven't been a national contender in a long, long time. This is their chance. I would say, like, is this really their chance? You got to play off 12 with a loss here. They could still get in. They still would end up getting in potentially with just the one loss. So I think you've been saying for a long time, too, and you're probably right about this, that Penn State is in already, aren't they? They lose this game but win the four after that. They finish 11-1. You're not going to keep an 11-1 Penn State team out of the college football 12.
Yeah, I think they look at their losses too, so if you lose to Ohio State, it's like that's a good, as good as a loss as you can have. You didn't get beat by Northern Illinois. Yeah, and if you look at the last decade, or you just look since Jimmy Franklin's been there, they would have been in the playoff 12 a handful of years. It's just the way that division was set up and the rules that were going, that they were a top 12 team a lot of those years, and but the playoff 12 wasn't a thing then.
And they have 5, 10 or 11 win seasons with Franklin as the head coach. And in the Big Ten, that's really difficult to do. So maybe he hasn't beaten Michigan or Ohio State on any kind of regular basis, but it's like you were talking about yesterday, is the win for Arkansas over Mississippi State is important because you're supposed to win those games. And like that's the thing that ends up getting you fired, is losing the games that you're supposed to win. So Franklin does well against, Purdue, Indiana, Iowa, Northwestern, Minnesota, Michigan State, all those other schools in the Big Ten. But maybe this is an opportunity to finally go after and win that big game. But you do make a really good point. It's so many of these other teams that didn't win the big game in previous years might have made the playoff 12 to begin with. They would have had bigger games in December than they were used to, the bowl games that they were playing.
Yeah, I'm a Jimmy Franklin fan. I've liked him for years. He's first class coach, man.
Hogs and Ole Miss on Saturday. We're talking earlier in the show on how this is. It's like a 6 1/2 dozen the other in some cases. You got to be able to run the ball against a program, against a defense that doesn't let you run it with any success. And if you don't run it with any success, how are you going to be able to keep your quarterback upright? I don't know what you play off the other in this sense.
Well, quick game, screen game, draw game, run game. Can't be afraid to run it on first down. Can't be afraid to run it on second down and have 3rd and 6. But because then your whole playbook's open on third and 6. You're going to have to beat the blitz with the pass. That's the other thing. If you can beat the blitz early, sometimes they back off of you a little bit. And Taylor's shown he can do that with his legs, but you're going to have to try just to have some form of a running game where they're not just pinning their ears back when it's third down, where they're like, we know it's a straight pass. It's not even going to be a play action pass. And if you do give the appearance of running the ball on 1st and 10 and 2nd and 5, well, man, then that play action pass is there. Then your play action pass is going. So there's ways to go about it. And nobody said it's going to be easy, because it's not going to be easy. Ole Miss is a very talented team, and you're going to have to earn it and work for it. But they'll have a plan in place that they're going to try to go with.
See, I like the idea of play action against them, but in order to do that, you have to establish that running the ball is something you do with success. I mean, you can't do play action without a few 5 or 6 yard runs, or even more than that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Short distance to get a first down, and we saw them use it twice last week against Mississippi State. Wouldn't be surprised to see it a lot more, not just against Ole Miss, but for this last month of the season.
You get Anthony, you get Centania, you get them in the slot matched up with a safety or a nickel guy, and if they're not in a too high safety look, and you can play action and hit those seams, it's kind of a similar pass that he hit. I don't know that it was play action when Talon hit Anthony on that, but that's a guy with their speed that I like that matchup. That if it's a one-on-one deal, the receiver's able to make a play where at worst it's incomplete, but it's a catch, it's a pass interference. Don't let it be an interception. But those are good matchups if you can get there, and I think you should be able to get those type of matchups at least 5 times throughout the game. And it's just, when you get those matchups a couple times, can you hold them off on the play action, and can you execute the play?
We'll talk about Arkansas, Ole Miss, Penn State, Ohio State, a few other things across the landscape of college football with Bill King when halftime returns after this break.
Connor, all I'll say is truck, yeah.
From the Buffalo River to the Louisiana line, from the Texas and Oklahoma borders to the capital city and into the Delta, the natural beauty, the natural resources, and the hardworking citizens make Arkansas's 4th District more than just the heart of the natural state. It is a land of opportunity to raise families, to build communities, and to do our part for a brighter future. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman. It's an honor to serve you. I approve this message and sincerely ask for your vote.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
Ladies and gentlemen, Adventure Dave will be attempting his greatest stunt yet. He will jump over 100 boats, ATVs, cars, and trucks, all at Adventure Oklahoma in Roland, brought to you by Auto Finders. Here he comes now. Adventure Dave, why did you choose Adventure Oklahoma for this stunt?
Well, Tom, Adventure Oklahoma is your one-stop shop for adventure. Plus, no one else would let me jump over their boats and ATVs.
Adventure Oklahoma by Auto Finders has it all. Brand new, used, that's right. CF Moto, Arctic Cat, and Segway side-by-sides and ATVs, all with a free 5-year warranty. Only offered by Adventure Oklahoma. Plus, G3 boats, Suncatcher pontoons, and Falcon Bass boats with delivery up to 100 miles away. The lowest priced pre-owned vehicles in the area with 90 days to your first payment.
That's right. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a date with Destiny.
Yes, and what a jump it will be.
No, the jump is tomorrow. This is Destiny.
See y'all later. Well, until then, visit Adventure Oklahoma in Roland, brought to you by Auto Finders. AutoFindersOK.com.
Your journey starts here.
Witz Marine, your authorized Mercury dealer, is ready to take care of your winterization needs. With cold weather just around the corner, be sure and get your Mercruiser stern drives drained and flushed with antifreeze. For those with outboards, it's a great time to change the oil and service the lower unit. Plus, treat your fuel for a trouble-free next season. Don't get caught this winter. It's also a great time to repower the old boat with a new reliable Mercury engine. That's Witz Marine, your authorized repower center. 823 North 11th next to Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
October is Slingshot Month at Wheeler Power Sports in Fort Smith. We have a great selection of new Polaris Slingshots in stock, some with financing available as low as 1.99% for 36 months and 0 down payment with approved credit. Fall is the perfect time to get out and see the natural state in the new Slingshot from Wheeler Power Sports. Serving all over Arkansas and eastern Oklahoma. WheelerPowersports.com. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Always appreciate time from Bill King, hosting 6 to 9 Monday through Friday, Nashville Sports Radio. He is the king of college football talk, and we appreciate you today, Bill. How are you?
Hey, guys. Doing really well.
Good, good. I was reading in The Athletic this morning that the average margin of victory in the SEC is down by 3 points from last year to this year. And this one really, I thought this one says a lot. 16 games out of 37 in the SEC this year decided by one score. There were 17 of those games last year with a month more to go in the season. It feels like the programs are getting a little bit tighter, maybe not at the bottom, but certainly from the top to the middle of the league. And I wondered your reaction when you hear that.
I go back to the 70s when it was a 10-team league. That's well before 92 when they went Arkansas, South Carolina in the additions. And this is by far the deepest it's been. I could note that early in September. It's more difficult now, even for the superpowers. They're still the superpowers, but it's more difficult now to win than ever before.
Hey, Bill, we got a big one coming up here in Fayetteville with Ole Miss coming to town. And I got Ole Miss's defense up there with A&M's, with Tennessee's, and LSU's. And I look at Arkansas, and so I look at, what we did against A&M. We put up 17 points, kept it to a one-score game. Got 19 on Tennessee, was able to kind of control the tempo and everything, and won that one. LSU only got 10, but we never really got out of second gear that game. LSU kind of controlled that entire game. What can be different that this formula is not going to happen against Ole Miss? Can Arkansas get over 20 points against a legitimate playoff team?
I think they probably can. And right now, the Ole Miss offensive line has not been what they anticipated, and somewhat the running game as well. I think that's a winnable area for Arkansas. And I think this offense, as we just witnessed, is really in rhythm now with a lot of confidence. And I think the confidence level is a reason why I absolutely think Arkansas could win this game. This is a very tricky game. Ole Miss might not get in the playoffs anyways with the 2 losses, but this right here would be the killer. This would be the ejection seat, and I think it's very possible for Arkansas to win this game.
What do you know about the situation on their offensive line? Because they put so much into building the defensive line and the defensive front seven. And that's how they're winning games. It's by getting to the quarterback and opponents unable to establish any sort of run against them. And then it seems Ole Miss kind of figures things out, mostly, in the second half like they did against Oklahoma, at least offensively. What has happened with their offensive line? Because they've had some changes on the starting lineup, and I think they had another change in the lineup last week on the offensive line.
They brought in 2 players from Washington who started on Washington's national championship game team, and they brought in the left tackle from North Carolina, and they just have not been that effective. And they have had some pesky type injuries as well, thus the running game. They also only have productivity out of Trey Harris, who's a spectacular receiver, but the others just have not lived up to whatever they needed them to be. Juice Wells would be one, who was a phenomenal player when he wants to be, the transfer from South Carolina. It's just not been in sync. And, that whole offense, I'd say when Jackson Dart's had a good year and in protected, he's very effective. That works out well, but it's not balanced up enough.
There's a handful of games at 11 that I think are just big time games. The Duke Miami game. Can you give me a reason Duke could go in there and beat Miami? Miami. I know Florida State. I don't know how much we buy into that game, but the last couple games, they were the cardiac Canes. They had to come from behind. They were kind of a little sloppy here and there. Does Duke pose any type of matchup problem for Miami this Saturday?
Don't think so. Maybe boredom early on. Cam Ward's, you could argue, the most effective quarterback in college football. And he also has, you watch him, he's got a ridiculously quick release. You almost can't see it. It's so fast. And he's playing at a high level of confidence. It would just have to be sheer boredom. No, I don't see much of a contest there.
Well, the biggest game of the weekend is Penn State hosting Ohio State. This isn't, though. It's going to have huge impact on the actual Big Ten standings and who could play in the championship game. But I don't know if it has much in terms of weight for the playoff 12. It's like if Ohio State loses 2 games, but it would be to the teams that may end up playing in the Big Ten championship, they could still get in there. So, is this more about, like, can Franklin win the big game or can Ryan Day win the big game? Is that what this is about? And also a lot of it is about whether or not Drew Aller is healthy.
Unclear on Drew with that knee, and they'll probably make us wait, which I don't blame them, until kickoff. But it seems doubtful. And they've got some other pesky injuries as well. But, yes, both are labeled as not winning big games, not getting that done. I know I have a lot of Ohio State fans that listen to my show, and some Penn State fans, not nearly as many Ohio State fans, and they are very restless right now. Not that that has anything to do with Ryan Day's future, but he is losing market share rapidly. They're not happy about the Nebraska game despite winning. And, yes, it is a label that both of these coaches have. Ryan Day hasn't been around as long as James, but they have the same label on them. And Ohio State loses this one. I'm like you. I think it's iffy on a lot of 2-loss teams, but I think they are in provided they win out. And Penn State's obviously, I think, in fantastic shape to be a playoff team.
Bill, I'm looking at the rankings, and the next time we talk to you, the College Football Committee, we'll have some rankings, and I'm seeing Texas A&M at 10th right now, and I just don't see that there's 3 other teams right now in the SEC, Georgia, Texas, and Tennessee, all ranked ahead of Texas A&M. When the playoff is it because the quarterback situation there? Because I think A&M's defense is just as good as any defense in the country. Where do you have A&M ranked, and who will be your number 1 team? Do you think will be the number 1 team for the College Football Committee?
It'll probably be Oregon, just by virtue of their record and quality wins. But I think Georgia's the best team. And I would have A&M probably, if you were just ranking the league, I would have Georgia 1. And I think you could argue Texas or A&M number 2. I would not have Tennessee ahead of them. I think Tennessee's borderline top 10. They still got to go to Georgia, though, and they still have to play Vanderbilt. That game doesn't look the same as, let's say, back in May if we would have talked about that game. So I would have them either second or third in the league, and quarterback situation, Connor Wegman was healthy. He was ineffective. They put in Marcel Reed, who's from here, from Nashville, went to Montgomery Bell Academy. His dad was the former TSU, Tennessee State University coach. And he's been a catalyst for them this year. What we do not know is, do they go back with Connor Wegman and let him start, and then you have your relief guy if there's ineffectiveness, or you just hand it to Marcel Reed? And that's what we don't know yet. But they're in good shape either way.
Hey, Bill, what's kind of wild is here we are. We're about to get into November, and all the head coaches that started the season in the SEC are still the head coaches of each of these football teams. There's been a lot of talk before the season about hot seat on coaches like Billy Napier, Sam Pittman. I think Sam's going to be around another year, maybe longer than that, but I think this year they'll get to a bowl, and I think he's shown a turnaround. Napier, well, the teams they've got left, we'll find out in this last month. Are there any other coaches that you think could be in jeopardy? So the one that I'm thinking of is Brent Venables at Oklahoma, but then again, I mean, they just signed him to an extension like 4 months ago, so I don't know if anybody is.
Venables shouldn't be safe, but he is. They own $44 million, I believe is the number. And it's the old, he's one of ours, so we're going to stick this out. I think that's probably a mistake. But no, I don't think so. Now, Stoops isn't happy at Kentucky, and they're not playing well. They're regressing, if you will. But he's got a big number, too, and frankly, he's done a very good job there. They might not be playing well right now, but overall, he's done a very good job. Kentucky is one of the three toughest places in the SEC to win. It's Kentucky, it's Vanderbilt, it's Mississippi State. And he's done a wonderful job there, but I don't sense that the happiness is there. He's still complaining about the lack of cash flow for players. And I don't know. Let me put it this way. If he got offered a pretty solid job somewhere else, maybe a bigger brand, similar money, because they're paying him a lot of money, I think he'd leave. I think he'd leave tomorrow.
Didn't that almost happen last year? What would Texas A&M have looked like under Mark Stoops if you could transport yourself there? What do you think? Would they have the same kind of team that they have right now?
I think so. Now I'm a big Mike Elko guy, but Stoops is a good coach. They'd be very physical. They'd be disciplined. You'd have talent. You would have cash flow, right? I mean, A&M's got cash flow from here to Mars. So I think they would be a very good team just like they are right now.
Hey, Bill, any reason to buy into Colorado? They got a bye week, and then they get 4 winnable games. I mean, they could look up and be 10-2. Any outside chance? I know they don't look like a playoff team as far as physicality and what you see, but could you? I mean, if Colorado in the season that way end up 10-2, you think they get in?
Not if they don't win the league. If they win the league, obviously they get the bid, but don't think so. But I will say this, compared to the way they looked sloppy early in the whole daddy ball thing, which is my language, they played well. And I know you're a big Travis Hunter guy. I actually voted last year Travis Hunter for Heisman just as a long shot. And I told you I don't think he'll win it, but there's not a more dynamic player out there. And yeah, I'm a little bit surprised at the way this season has turned. I still don't trust Deion's ultimate motives here, meaning his future, but they're playing well. I can't be denied.
I got to end with a thought of, in this World Series, the Dodgers have a couple of guys with connections to Nashville. You got Mookie Betts, of course, who's from the city, and then there's Walker Buehler, who pitched at Vanderbilt. And I tell you, I remember watching Walker pitch against Arkansas in 2015, and that was kind of the Walker Buehler I remember seeing yesterday against the Yankees. So you got a little of that connection. I know you've talked about Mookie before, and you do pay attention to Vandy baseball.
Yeah, Mookie's John Overton, Nashville, Tennessee, right, not far from downtown. And then Walker Buehler's from Lexington, Kentucky. And I remember guys telling me back then, friends of mine at Kentucky, we got a kid in high school over here, and I don't remember if it was Lexington, Tates Creek, or Catholic, which one it was, just dominant pitcher. And I knew I was skeptical about it, and then I saw him at Vanderbilt, and I realized they were right. But those are, wonderful stories, no doubt about it.
Hey, lastly, I was listening a little bit to your show. I enjoy listening to Bill's radio show, 6 to 9, Monday through Friday, WNSR. You were bringing up, and you bring up the town of Council Bluffs, Iowa, which I think is kind of right across the river from Omaha. What does Council Bluffs mean to the Bill King radio program?
Years and years ago, back when I started Sirius College Sports Nation, when I started that whole channel, somehow we ended up in Omaha in 07 when Oregon State was winning back-to-back, doing the show out there. And right over the border is Council Bluffs, and there's a casino there. And for whatever reason, one day on the show I said, I just think that's a neutral town. So from now on, when we have these imaginary games, we're going to play them in Omaha and right over the border in Council Bluffs. Well, about a year goes by, and I get a package, and it's from the mayor, and it's the key to the city. You know, it's just an imaginary big block, whatever it is. So I got a key to the city, and ever since then, we've always talked about this game. What if we had to go today? It's always 2 o'clock, and it's today, and it's these two teams on the ultimate neutral site. There's no fan base that's going to dominate there. And now I got people asking me about, for example, today, what would happen if Luke Fickell fought Brian Kelly in Council Bluffs? So it's gotten out of hand, is the point. But it's been fun.
When you do a 3-hour radio program, the stuff that gets out of hand sometimes keep you floating. Thanks, Bill. Appreciate your time. Enjoy Council Bluffs today.
Okay.
Thanks, Bill.
Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio. So I've been over to Council Bluffs a few times because you just walk over the walking bridge from downtown Omaha, and you're right there. I haven't seen the football stadium they might be talking about, but I'm sure there's an imaginary one right around the corner. Brought to you by Crabtree RV Center, the dealership that serves our listening audience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas for going on 7 decades. They are at the junction of I-40 and I-49, right beside the Cracker Barrel, and your family will get the absolute best experience choosing the right RV for your adventures. Service and parts department takes care of anything else in between. That's Crabtree RV, online at crabtreerv.com. Quick break. We'll be back right after this on Halftime.
If you see a possum, try to kill it. It's not a pet.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
You will never find a boring old burger at Art's Barbecue and Burgers in Fort Smith. Try the Wild West Burger, topped with a hot link, jalapenos, and Art's hot sauce. The Brisket Burger, with tender brisket and caramelized onions on top of their hand-patted burger. Or the famous Art Attack, with house bacon, smoked ham, an onion ring, and a fried egg. There are 10 different burgers to choose from, and they're all $1 off every Saturday. Art's Barbecue Burgers and more. Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel Crickhopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The Crickhopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel Crickhopper.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren, the best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
When I need a place to stay in Northwest Arkansas, I always choose the Inn at the Mill. It's centrally located in the heart of NWA at the Johnson exit off I-49 and is the most unique choice of hotels in the region. Whether you're in town for the game, a concert at the Amp, business travel, or just a weekend away, the Inn at the Mill has a spacious, clean room ready for you. Reserve your stay at the Inn at the Mill, 479-443-1800, or visit innatthemill.com. The Inn at the Mill, where the past meets the present.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Here's some sad news. Terry Garr passed away at age 79. Oh, man. She was one of the early crushes I had because I loved and still do Close Encounters of the Third Kind. She plays Richard Dreyfuss's wife in that movie. And Young Frankenstein and Tootsie. She was just absolutely adorable and gorgeous. But I think it was multiple sclerosis that derailed her career. And now she has passed away at age 79. A lot of teenage boys that are my contemporaries had big crushes on Terry Garr. So Godspeed for her. Godspeed for our listeners here, too, because Brian's called us. Hey, Brian, what's going on? How are you?
Hey, not much. What's going on?
Hey, it's a great Tuesday.
I got a kind of a comment, a couple comments. First, watching Arkansas play A&M, LSU, and Oklahoma State, I believe, in my opinion, that Arkansas will lose 3 of their next 4, and this is why. All three of their next 4 opponents have proven quarterbacks, very good quarterbacks. Quinn Ayers, the dude from Missouri, and Jackson Dart. And for what I've seen, the Arkansas defensive backs don't hold coverage very long. If you put an experienced quarterback and 3 or 4 good receivers, you're always going to have 1 or 2 open. And that's what's hurt them in those 3 games. So that's why I believe that Arkansas will lose 3 of their next 4. And my other comment is, I've noticed that Texas set the trend of throwing trash. What do you think about Colorado and Nebraska's kids throwing trash, and Ohio State and whoever's throwing trash? So it's not just Texas kids throwing trash. There's other schools throwing trash on the field too. And I'll just kind of hang up and see what you guys got to say.
I don't remember the trash being thrown by the others, but I remember Tennessee fans throwing mustard bottles and jars on a field and everything. And look, nobody's just choosing Texas fans and Texas students to to give a thumbs down to or to rip on or anything. They did that to themselves. They did that to themselves in the biggest game of the day in college football on national TV for everybody to see, and it was because of a call that they didn't agree with. It doesn't. Hey, it does, any other school, if they've got fans that are throwing stuff on the field, it reflects incredibly poorly upon the people that decide to throw stuff on the field. But I'm not watching all these other games either. If somebody does throw something on the field and we do see it, it'll be brought up. But like, let's not act that just Texas fans are being singled out here because they're Texas fans. No, this was the most watched game of the weekend. It was the biggest game of that weekend. And I feel like those fans just kind of leaned into the way that people view them. Now, on the other aspect of this, of that phone call from Brian, I mean, it's a legitimate thing to wonder about with the idea that you have played a lot of freshman quarterbacks this year and you've beaten them. And the most experienced quarterbacks Arkansas has played against, they've lost against outside of A&M. Alan Bowman with Oklahoma State, Garrett Nussmeier with LSU. I just wonder, you're not going to play. I shouldn't say you're not. I wonder if you're going to see something akin of the same defensive plan that you saw against LSU in order to try to keep those wide receivers in front of the defensive backs. And it didn't work very well against LSU because Nussmeier made all the throws and they caught everything that came their way. Not to say that maybe these next 3 SEC games that Brian mentioned, you might not necessarily see as good of a set of receivers, I think, or maybe even a quarterback that's as veteran as Nussmeier. But yes, they are facing more veteran, better quarterbacks, more accomplished quarterbacks this next month. And you can't go into this last month without at least acknowledging that too.
College football's here, isn't it? How fun.
JT asks what backup Dr. Pepper, Peyton, and Eli's nephew proven. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't yet. He proved that he's out there for a couple of series and took him back out at a deer in the headlights look. But I mean, I think it's a legitimate question, the idea of these last 3 SEC games, because you're going to be playing more accomplished quarterbacks, better quarterbacks. Do you think they defense it differently, Matt?
I think it comes down to, do we have 3 turnovers this game or do we have 0? I think Ole Miss, you look at Tennessee, you look at A&M, you look at LSU. How is Arkansas? Because we take all these numbers we like to take and say, all right, let's just take these numbers against teams that are comparable. Let's don't take Oklahoma State. Let's don't take UAB, UAPB. Let's look at this Arkansas team against a real team. And we haven't scored over 20 points yet. Ole Miss hasn't let anybody score over 29 in conference play. This is going to be a tough battle on the offensive side. And can you keep the ball moving without turning the ball over? Can you stay aggressive, without turning the ball over? Running backs, we fumbled our allotment for running backs. Running backs got to hold on to the ball for the rest of the year.
It's up to 19 fumbles now. There's still just, 6 of them that have been lost? Still a lot of times that ball's hitting the ground. But you're turning the conversation around. It's like, don't necessarily worry about defensively against these teams, because you got to keep up offensively. And that that was I think that was our conversation in the days after the LSU game was, hey, defensively it wasn't great, but they forced them to 4 field goals. They kind of did a job there. There's some games where it's more of a defensive battle. That was Tennessee. I think the feeling that you're getting here, Matt, and you're probably right about this, is if you're facing more experienced quarterbacks, then your offense has to be up to the task of keeping up with those experienced quarterbacks.
Yes, the most experienced quarterback we've played so far, our offense never got in rhythm. Their quarterback kept them in rhythm, kept them, in first down, kept the change moving. And LSU's that's a really good team. It's going to be similar. Ole Miss they're going to be okay. It's can you have that game you had a couple years ago where I think if you can get pressure to Jackson Dart, I think he'll throw it to you. I don't think Jackson Dart's a guy that you rush 3 and drop 8. But even though if you had to spy him or whatever, which you can do that some, I'm not saying that's not something you can do, but I think if you find ways to get to Jackson Dart, put him on the ground a little bit early, he'll give one up to you.
You know, the other thing too, it's like I still don't know the availability for Brady Cook for Missouri. Now, I mean, they don't play this weekend, so that's really important for them because they're going to need a strong finish. Though they're not a playoff team this year, I don't think, with these two losses, especially who they've come against and the way those final scores. It would be kind of odd to see a team that gets shut out in a regular season to make a playoff. But with Brady Cook, they're a lot better than they are with I can't remember the name of the kid that transferred over from Notre Dame, but they are a heck of a lot better with Cook than with him. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts. And Matt in Fayetteville says 3-1 is nice. He sees 2-2. Honestly, 2-2 would be really good because then you're going to beat a team that going into the season a lot of folks didn't expect you would beat. And you're going to beat a team that you are an underdog against. Arkansas is a 7-point underdog against Ole Miss. They're going to be a heavy underdog at home against Texas. They'll be an underdog at Mizzou. I think a 2-2 finish to the season, and I don't want to. This isn't about lowering expectations. I think it's a matter of looking at things in a real sense. And I'd love to see them win the next 4. You finish 2-2, then you're 7-5. Then you've won 4 SEC games and you're at 500 in this league. And I think that's actually a pretty good season considering how bad it was last year. I would not mind 2-2.
And you beat Ole Miss, Texas, or Missouri. One of those you choose. It's like all 3 of those would be good wins for the Hogs. And I think you're right. We might be underdogs in all 3 of those. And that would put us at 7-5 going to a bowl game. You find a way to get to 8, you're going to go to a really good bowl game because the SEC's, you're going to lose 3 teams to the playoff 12, so you're kind of going to get bumped up a ladder in your bowl game. But we'll see. Shall I dare to dream? Is this a real football team? Can the Hogs go and play, or is it going to look something like the LSU game?
Well, like we say, they'll remember November, and November starts on Friday, but in football sense for us in the SEC. Although the Big Ten and a couple of other leagues will be playing on Friday, it'll really start on Saturday for us here. And all the best odds for all the SEC games, any other college football game, the World Series, NBA, NHL. It's all going on right now on the Bet Saracen app. Works on your Apple iPhone if you download from the App Store. Android users download from Google Play. All the web browsers work. BetSaracen.com. Make sure you're inside the state of Arkansas to use Bet Saracen. Quick break. Back to wrap the show up right after this.
This is Halftime.
Bow season is underway, and Jelco Outdoors has all your archery and hunting equipment to help you bag that big buck. Select new compound bows by Bowtech, Elite, and Hoyt. Save $200 off. Beartech crossbow packages, now only $329.99. Save $200 off select Raven crossbows, clothing, boots, tree stands, saddle equipment, feeders, nut grub, and grunt calls. Jelco has it all for you. Good luck and safe hunting. And remember, a great hunt begins at Jelco Outdoors.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
COP CDL Academy is a licensed Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration that provides the federal required training to obtain both Class A and Class B CDL licenses. Our program provides assistance with employment after graduation. We have finance and grant options available. Students straight out of class have started new careers earning $70,000 to $140,000 per year, and training is provided for all 50 states. Call today, 479-632-1050, COP CDL Academy.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're needing a used car, we've got them. Everything from the most affordable cash cars to road-ready certified with warranty. The best used cars your money can buy. And we've got a finance option for everyone, whether you have great credit and you're looking for the best rate or you're needing to build your credit with a reputable lender. We've got you. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With the never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
The Newmeyer family is a mainstay in Fort Smith, and their newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill, has so much to offer. Friday night catfish, good. Tuesday nights, kids 10 and under eat free with an adult meal purchase. Don't forget about Whippoorwill for every Hogs game with their massive projection screen. For catering options, call 479-769-2095. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
On the street where you live, girls talk about the social lives. The made a big place to complain. You see me rise. All your life, all your best, with your daddy gonna talk to you.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Go right to the phones before we wrap things up here. Nelson and Harrison has called us. Good afternoon, Nelson. Always good to hear from you. What's
guys.
up?
Oh, I was just listening to what you guys were saying there, and you know what? Those experienced quarterbacks that we played, if it wasn't for us turning the ball over, they wouldn't have scored touchdowns. LSU scored 4 field goals, and then whenever it was 16-10, we gave them the points to go up 2 possessions. And how many touchdowns did Nussmeier throw on us? 1. They ran a touchdown in, he threw a touchdown in. The rest were field goals. So this experienced quarterback stuff scares me, but I'm with Matt. If we don't turn the ball over and Alyssa Orange, Taylor Green looks like he is more prepared to be a SEC quarterback now than he was earlier in the year. Mississippi State, everybody says, well, they're a terrible defense. Well, the game before that, they were the one that was going to beat somebody. Mississippi State's going, they're going up. They're going up. They're going to beat somebody. Well, what happened was Taylor Green was more precise and more definite on what decisions he wanted to make, and he took it to Mississippi State. And our defense took it to their offense. So, experienced quarterbacks, yeah, they're coming. But our defense, whenever they play good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Nelson. It's a good call. And No, Matt, I remember you were like, well, look at these two quarterbacks. They're going up against each other. And I've always thought, no, they're not playing against each other. It's this quarterback against that defense and same on the other side. But it's like a matchup of which offense can do more. And you're looking at the offenses that you're going to be facing now. Like, I think Ole Miss is more of a defensive-oriented team, but that is an offense that I think is quite a bit better than some of the offenses that Arkansas has faced this year. So maybe this next month is more about not keeping up with the opponent, but just outscoring them, having a better offensive day and not turning it over.
No, these are real teams. We beat one team that's making it to a bowl game in the last 2 years. So if you look at the Arkansas's wins and you're going to try to talk about, hey, okay, who is Arkansas beat? We beat one team that's going to a bowl game in the last 2 years. Ole Miss would be our second team. So that's a real football team. Can Arkansas play against a real football team? They haven't shown it. They've shown it one time in 2 years. Let's see if they can do it for a second time.
Yeah, and even the Tennessee win, you feel like, all right, well, now it's like Tennessee was exposed. You haven't necessarily felt that about Ole Miss just yet. All right, well, good stuff today. It's always fun hosting halftime on a Tuesday. Tomorrow, Clay Henry joins us beginning at 12 noon. And we'll have Grant Hall in our first hour. Maybe by then the World Series will be complete. Who knows? I do think the Yankees will find a way to extend the series at least by one game. And I don't know, maybe that's just the baseball fan in me hoping that this thing doesn't end tonight. Ruskin and Zach are standing by in just a few minutes. Our Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast is just about ready to go. And tomorrow we'll be with you again right there at 11 o'clock when we always join you. For Matt Jones, Christian Johnston, Colton Little, and our guests, Alyssa Orange and Bill King, I'm Phil Elson. Thanks for listening today on Halftime. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Now, get up, get out, and get better.